The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 20. And David rose up early in the morning. That's a message for somebody right there. Get your ass out the bed. And he left the sheep with a keeper. And he took and he went, as Jesse had commanded him, following instruction. And he came to the trench. And as the host was going forth to fight, and shouted for battle, for Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriages. And he ran into the army, and he came, and he saluted his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of the Gad, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistine, and spoke according to the same words. And David heard him. And all the men of Yasharel, when they saw the man, ran like cowards from him, and they were afraid. And the men of Yasharel said, have you not seen this man that has come up? Let me stop right here for a second. This is all these men you hear out there talking about EBT and what Trump hasn't did, and I told y'all not to vote for Trump, and now we're not going to have this, and now we're going to have that. Where's Al Sharpton? Where's Lee Merrick? Where's all these beggarly niggards, idiots, to come and help me? So every Israelite man out there, this message, when you're out there, you're begging and wondering, this government to come to your rescue, you're no different than this here. Remember, this book is a living word. It is alive. Yahuah never changes. As they were then, as Solomon said, yeah, right here, right now. So this is a clarion call, a salute, you might add. A salute is just another word to address somebody. I'm talking about, again, those cowardly Israelite men. You know, because Israel wants to brag and boast about, I'm Israel. I'm the people in the book. We the people in the book. You know, we don't have nothing to fear. You know, Yahuah's going to come. You know, they can't hide. You can talk all that jive all you want. I'm just using jive because I don't want to say talk shit. You can talk all that jive all you want. But if your little weak, tender, delicate ass is over there looking for the government or looking for somebody else, looking for your mama to fight your battles, then you're going to have a long, long, long goddamn year. Matter of fact, you're going to have a long, miserable, whatever life that you have left. Hey, somebody got to say it. But let us move on. And they were so afraid, these men, Israelite men. And the men of Yasharel said, have you seen this man that has come up? Surely to defy Yasharel is he come up. And it shall be, just like they talk about Trump, just like they talk about these other government officials, brothers and sisters. So why your elder, see, I'm cut from a different cloth, so to speak. You know, like this linen. I wasn't built that way. I ain't running from nobody. I don't give a damn what they look like, what their melanin is, non-melanin. Are you serious? As a matter of fact, their lack of melanin is an indicator that they're inferior. That's why they're always ganging up on the people. I don't need to get this out, do I? See how they roll. But that doesn't even matter. What did Deuteronomy say? That the tender, delicate man that hates his own brother, hates his women. And I might want to stop. I'm going to stop there for just a second. Because, the last couple of videos Elder put out, was taking a moment and well, not the last couple of videos, but the Tanakh study and the last video, maybe the last couple of videos, was acknowledging, the sisters of Zion, the daughters of Zion. And I know some of the cowardly-ass Israelite men, you can see that it's creeped on out the scene. Because somehow or another, by identifying your mama, your sister, somehow or another, you get all, bothered, all shook up. Oh, you chase women, you're a fool. You don't know nothing about me like that. Anybody that knows me know I don't chase women. I don't have that to do. So you missed the mark, you idiot. When we identify our sisters and what they bring to the table, it's because they've earned the right to be identified. And unlike you, I'm not so much of a coward that I refuse to identify their contributions. Now you deal with that shit, nigga. For the rest of you brothers, okay, this message proved them. The little cowards, kick rocks, get out of here. Because if you come up amongst men, you're probably going to get your ass whipped. Talking about the men I run with. Don't play that. You need to be in one of them camps. You need to be over there with Dowl and Thor and all of those, that kind of foolishness. Who think women are created solely for the purpose for them to use the bathroom on, so to speak. Can't believe it. And I got reason to say this, brothers and sisters. Don't think Elder just going off, on some, reckless rant. No, I have a reason to say it. And for the righteous daughters of Zion, I will always defend you. I don't care nothing about them cowardly men you laid up with, had babies with, or think you want to be with. Now let's get back to the teaching at hand. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom, by the way. You might as well salute Yahuah for another great Shabbat. We're giving us an opportunity because we'll see how it is. Hallelujah. I know I'm keeping it. And I'm doing my job. Hallelujah. And that's teaching and teach, inform, and educate you, my brothers and sisters. But here's David. Okay, verse 25. And the men of Yashua said, have you seen this man that he has come up? Surely to defy Yashua is he come up. And it shall be that the man who kills him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and give him his daughter, and to make his father's house free in Yashua. This is what the men are telling David. But they're not encouraging David. They're just saying, well, a righteous man is worthy of a righteous reward, but since we're cowards and we don't have nothing, it's just easier for us to point the finger at the men who will stand up and do something. If you look over at the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, that chapter, and I already said to my daughters and my sisters and those who are unrighteous women of Zion, you might want to go read Isaiah chapter 3. But there is something over in Isaiah chapter 3 I think is worth, is noteworthy. And sisters, I want y'all to hear that more than, these men out here who hate you. But look what it says here. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 3. And this is end time. Isaiah starts the book up. Isaiah starts the writing up by saying what? The ox knows his owner. The ass his master's crib. But my people don't know who they are. Talking about Yashua. And they won't even consider. It doesn't even matter to them. See, I could teach just like this with straight dignity and honesty and integrity. And they still can't handle it. They're going to see me, oh, he's this, oh, he's that, oh, he's this, and he's that. Well, I know whatever I am, I'm better than your wicked ass. That I do know. I got a resume to back me up. What you got to back you up other than your mouth? And your little wicked seed that you done spread it all over the place that you probably don't even think about taking care of. But you are who you are. From the wicked come wickedness, so be it. But look at this part right here. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 3. I just read Isaiah chapter 1, verse, I think it was 2 to 5, right in there. But this is what I'm looking at right here. Then we're going back over, to the shepherd. Because we're going to talk about the watchman today and who follows the watchman. I'm saying, who are they? What are they? And what Yahuah has to say about them. But look at this part right here. It says, in verse 6, the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 6, when a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, you have clothing, get this, sisters, be our ruler, and let the ruin be under your hand. In other words, they don't want to take any responsibility. Brother, look, he got more than me, so why should I help him? Yeah, them niggas. Don't be looking at me funny because I'm using a word that you hear slinging around every day. Israel has turned that word into a term of endearment. So don't come over here playing the not religion. I ain't your goddamn wicked ass pastor. We'll talk about him in a moment. Not yet. Before you open your mouth one more time, sister saying anything, anyone saying anything about this, you must be an old damn fool. You're not listening what's going on out here, how people are addressing each other. Women call themselves the B word and call that friendly. B-I-T-C-H, be clear here. Don't even call themselves whores. Witches. No, you're not going to control what I say. Yahuah gives the word. Great is the man who published it or push it out. He got some things to say, and we're going to get there too. If you can just stand the rain. Wicked flee when no one pursue it. But the righteous, no, we're going to continue to be bold as lions. Let's continue on here. Look what it says here. Oh, so they're saying, well, you got more than me. Look at this, brothers and sisters. It said, in that day he shall swear, promise, saying, I will not be a healer. And for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. In other words, they don't want to take no responsibility, brothers and sisters. They want to blame the white man. They want to blame the yellow man. They want to blame the elder. They want to blame the daughters of Zion. But you notice the one person they don't blame is themselves. And this is what's going on over here with David and his brethren and the men of Yasharel. They see Goliath, they see a giant, they see an obstacle, a very confident, a very confident obstacle, a very confident enemy. Just like our enemies. You look at Pete Headset, the one that said F-A-F-O, you know. You look at Trump and all of them, those men are very confident, very self-assured. You know, I saw one of them the other day, they were having what they call the Patriots Award. And the white women out there, they just falling all over the ground for them. And they standing up there with their little Monty suits on, all physically fit. You know, they the man right now. For a moment, this is like Custer. Like, many of y'all know about General Custer? You know, and Custer's last stand. See, Custer was an arrogant prick in the military. Right in the late 1800s, when America was going through, the rest of the country, particularly Indian territory, as they would have called it, Native American, as we would say it, stealing their land like they do, like they're trying to do in Venezuela and what they're trying to do in Palestine. This is how they roll. So Custer and his army went over there to a place called Little Bighorn. And they met some Comanches over there. I believe they were Comanches. And by the time they finished with Custer and his arrogant, pompous behind, he was over there killing women and children, by the way, when the Braves were gone, just like cowards do. The Braves were out, hunting and gathering. And while they were out hunting and gathering, this Edomite heathen and the rest of his army, and there were some melanated ones in there too, before you just start, having an orgasm, some of you men. Oh, see, that was the Edomite, wasn't us. Oh, you're a little weak. We had some weak, tender, delicate ass, so-called buffalo soldiers in the cavalry. And they were slaughtering Native Americans too. So let's not even get that twisted. You lie, but I ain't gonna lie for you. What does Sirach say? Yahuah hates a thief and he hates a liar. So you can believe lies all you want. Historical facts is what we're going to talk about today, as we always do. That's why we keep with the book open, my brothers and sisters, not closed. But Custer ran over there and slaughtering women and children under the guise that somehow these settlers had gotten attacked. So they got to get their vengeance. Y'all know how they roll. There's drug dealing down in Venezuela. Maduro's army in Venezuela, his generals, they sell drugs. They promote drugs, and America doesn't. This government does not sell drugs? Are you kidding me? Somebody may want to talk to some of you if you believe that about the Iran-Contra scandal. How you think crack cocaine ended up in our communities in the 80s? Highway Rick Ross. Go look it up. All government drug dealing, to buy weapons, to supply the Sandinistas. Because they were trying to, exploit Central America for whatever resources down there that they wanted. See, this is why in Sirach, my righteous young brothers, older brothers too, is why it says never disrespect a man that's well-traveled, because a man that's well-traveled has information that can be very useful for you if you're not well-traveled. Not that you won't be at some point down the road. It can be a short road now because we're at the end of the road. But these are historical facts. And just like, Custer, was lying on the Native Americans, you got Trump and all of his administration, including the Democrats too. Don't play that game. They're two tits on the same damn female pig. Doesn't even matter. But the long story short, they're saying that Maduro is selling, his general is selling. All this is just an excuse to go in there and exploit and steal the petroleum in the country. That's one of the richest petroleum reserves on the earth. It's just buried so deep in the ground, they need modern equipment to get it. And that's why China and Russia is over there working with them. And of course, the United States want to get it before they get their greasy hands on it. It's all thievery, brothers and sisters. And these are things that if you don't know that, you'll be sitting around here saying, Trump just trying to stop the drug trade. Are you kidding me? Trump? The government? I just gave you some information. This government is the world's drug trade. You don't know anything about why they were in Afghanistan? The poppy fields, opium? Big pharma, as you call it, or they call it? 1 out of 4 Americans addicted on drugs. Where do you think them drugs come from? How did they get to the United States if the United States not drug peddling? Come on, man. You can do better than this. No, you can do better than this. I'm going to let you just, chew on that for a moment. But Custer did run over there, slaughtering women and children, lying that they were attacking the settlers, attacking the settlers in their land, by the way. The audacity, you know what I'm saying? You're going to come and you're going to accuse them of being vicious for defending their own land that you try to steal from them. But anyway, they slaughtered him. That was a good day. Custer's last stand. America is about to have its last stand along with the rest of the West, the East, the North, and the South. But we can talk about that at another time. Let's get back over here to David. He's waiting on us. Hallelujah. But I just wanted to show you, brothers, so just like they were ridiculing David over there talking about, what we going to do, telling David about with this reward, you can get all this. They didn't say David could get it. They were just talking about that's what the king was offering. David overheard the conversation, piqued his interest because he wondered what's going on here. And let me say this. You notice that when David had to go do something, he did not neglect his first responsibility. He didn't use doing something else as a reason he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. And this is why I started off with Ecclesiastes 11:6 in the morning. Let's go there real quick. Because a lot of, Israel, has a bad habit. Well, what do you expect from me? I can't do everything. Well, you can do better than you're doing, especially when you're waiting on the government to do it for you. But Ecclesiastes 11:6 says, in the morning sow your seed, and in the evening withhold not your hand, for you know not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike prosperous. So see, David, even though he was a shepherd, his father had sent him on an assignment. And as he went to fulfill his assignment, you may have noticed he took the carriage, put the carriage where it was supposed to be. He got a keeper, somebody to watch his car, so to speak, and to make sure that nobody took it while he was going about his business. And this is what responsibility and accountability looks like. When I said earlier, he got up early in the morning. Think about the lessons we can learn from that. Think about the lessons we can teach our children in regards to that. Maybe we take that cell phone out of their hand and that PlayStation out of their hand and that iPad from out of their face. Maybe they can really learn something for real that they can actually utilize. Tools for life. So there was David. He had handled the business at hand, and now he's still going to take care of the business of need. He's fulfilling the commandment. He was given a direction, and he didn't shun the direction. No such thing as a leader that's incapable of following directions. Let me say that to you again, men. Women too. There is no such thing as a leader that is incapable of following directions. No such thing. That's a figment of your imagination. There's an old saying, if you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're only going for a walk. People don't follow people who can't follow directions. Only a fool would do that. That's what Isaiah 53 said. It was led like a blind sheep to the slaughter, talking about Judah. Didn't have enough sense to open their mouth because they were ignorant, because they weren't listening to the person that was well-traveled. So they were falling into every trap, every snare. Just like right now. Damn government has Israel, how you say, eating out of his lap. Oh, we don't know. I don't know what we're going to do if the EBT. I don't know what we're going to do if I lose my house. I don't know what I'm going to do. What's going to happen if I don't pay my car note? What's going to happen this and what's going to happen? I don't know what you allow to happen. Never thought about that as an option? Maybe if we would understood the importance of collective, this wouldn't even be happening. But when it comes down to collective with every other group, they understand, two is better than one. But when it comes down to Israel, no, I'm better than everybody. If I ain't the one, nobody else going to be the one. If I can't have it, nobody else going to have it. If I can't be in charge, then I ain't going to be a part of it. What fools we have become as a nation of people thinking like that. And this is why we're conquered, divided and conquered, brothers and sisters, divided because of that type of ignorance that our men boast about, our women boast about it. Everybody else will go over there and mock us for it. This is why they can come in our communities and open up businesses and strive, and we can't go in their communities and open up anything and survive. Well, we can do it in their business. We'll end up in jail. We go in their communities trying to open up something. You'll be in jail by nightfall, probably. Probably pull you over for driving down the street slow. What you doing over here? But yet they can come in our community and be extremely successful because we don't have the right mentality about a collective. We just pour into them. Not because we don't have resources. We do have resources. 1 + 1 = 2. But when 1 + 1 or 1 - 1, ends up with nothing, then we look around for the government and start talking about them. When really, have we stood with each other and support righteous leadership, then we wouldn't be having these, beggarly thoughts in our minds. This pitiful, tender, delicate ideology, hearts, weak hearts. Again, as a collective people, it is what it is. Y'all know it. Our people live in communities where they'll throw trash on the ground and walk over that trash turn 3 or 4 different colors, and they still won't pick it up. It's been on the ground so long. Won't cut their grass. Something breaks, rather than fix it, they'll tape it up. Just pitiful. But yet, when you call it out, somehow or another, I'm critical. No, I'm not. No more than Yahuah is critical for calling out, slothfulness, a lazy man. What does Sirach 22:6 say? 22:1 say? Let's go there. Ecclesiastes. And we're going to get back. And brothers and sisters, again, where are we going today? We're going about to the watchman. We're going about what Yahuah says. we're going to talk about why this disaster has happened and why Yahuah is about to come in here and wipe all of this stuff out, including most of our own people. The apple of Yahuah's eye is going to get a black eye. We already got a black eye. We're going to get 2 black eyes. No, we're going to be a one-eyed, cyclops. And the reason for it is because we don't want to hear the truth. We want to blame everybody else, even the wicked pastors, even the wicked shepherds, but take no responsibility for our own behavior. And when someone like myself come up and some of you come up and bring out this truth, instead of them step back and listening, our ancestors, in many cases, did not behave like that. That's why the men told Joshua, we're going to follow you, Joshua. And if anybody buck up against you, come against you, Joshua, we're going to kill them. Where's that man today, brothers and sisters? Oh, and by the way, you know what the women were? They wasn't calling them whores and tramps. No, they were protected and secured. Go read Joshua chapter 1. Unlike you, they didn't hate their women. And nobody going to hear no crap. Oh, how bad the women are today. Well, they can say the same thing about most men. Talking about in Israel. Who you looking to go into inner-cities? Who you think killing, each other on these damn corners for the last 3 or 4, decades? Pushing drugs. Spreading diseases like wildfire. STDs, herpes, AIDS, gonorrhea, syphilis. And who knows whatever else is in between. Pushing crack. Pushing heroin. Marijuana. Angel dust. And anything else they could get their hands on. Robbing and stealing. And we're not supposed to say anything about this. And then somehow or another it's going to just miraculously get better. Oh, I forgot, it's not our fault. It's the Philistines. It's Goliath. When you say, Brother Mendez, the devil did it. It's the devil's fault, y'all. It's the devil. Only if that devil looks like you when you participate in that folly or embrace others who do. What I mean by embracing, you don't say nothing about it. You look the other way. Or in the dark, you're over there, with your hands out. They were saying all money ain't good money. The book even tells us if you don't take nothing from an envious man or woman. So if they don't want to give, you're better off not receiving from them. And if they're getting it illegally or wickedly, they definitely don't take it. It's just going to burn you. Just like a social, what they call it? Like a venereal disease. You're going to get burned. The older folks, y'all know what I'm talking about. The young ones, you're just going to catch what they got. Make sure you can relate. Ain't going to be good for you. But look at the Rock 22 says here, brothers and sisters. Again, David got up early. He was about it. And was able to do more than one thing at a time and not even complaining. How about that? Not whining and complaining because I got to go to work. Look at Ecclesiastes 22 says. A slothful man, which means lazy, is compared to a filthy stone, which means a toilet. And everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace. In other words, he stinks. He's smelly. And I'm not necessarily talking about smelling like, feces. It's just his aroma. It's not a good aroma. His air, the way he carries himself. He don't add any value to anything. He's he's just what we would call a parasite. Or her. They're parasites. Vampirism is a word that I haven't used in a moment that was shared with me a while back. Vampirism. They're blood suckers. Everybody else's responsibility to fix the community for theirs. Everybody else's responsibility to fix their financial situation but their own. Everybody else should be helping, but not them, of course. After all, why should they? He said they're disgraced. Verse 2 says, a slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. And for you little kids, you may not know what a dunghill is. Well, you would call it doo-doo, poop, poo, whatever. You know, when somebody poo on the ground or a dog poos on the ground, that's a dunghill. And you go to the bathroom and you got to, and you have to do a number 2, that's a dung. That's dung. To your uncle, your daddy, your cousin, and other men up and down the street that you see coming and going, maybe your family members, your brother. You say if they ain't working, they ain't contributing, they're not trying to be a part of something greater than themselves, that's who he's talking about. He's talking about those ones, okay? So don't be like them. Stay away from them. They stink. What I mean by stink, it doesn't get any better. See, they've been tenderized, sissified. And so when a real man starts talking, they shrink. They get angry. Watch this. Now here's David. Let's go back to 1 Samuel. Chapter 17. Picking back up at verse 26. And David spoke, 1 Samuel, chapter 17. And David, verse 26. And David spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that kills this Philistine? Now David is repeating back to them what they told him. A lot of times, brothers and sisters, and that's a good, behavior to practice. When someone says something to you, if you want to make sure that you're understanding before you answer, repeat back to them what they said. You follow me? That way you give you a chance to process and think before you share what's, or you respond, Repeat it back to them. That way they understood. First of all, they know you understood what they said, and you validating that, what they said is what you understood. So it's the same thing applies. Just repeat it back to them or to yourself. It also helps for retention. You'll remember better. That's why we do precepts and take notes in our studies. It's for that very reason, to retain it. Not just to prove that the scripture is right, which is important, but it's also for retention. And so you go back and study. If you get those precepts that we put out every Wednesday night and you don't use it, you're not going to grow. You're not going to see the blessings of Yahuah. You're not going to, because it's just going to go in one ear and out the other ear. You can listen. You can even learn. But except to be a part of you, you're not going to grow. It's like looking at food, smelling food, knowing that it's food, but if you don't eat the food, you're not going to grow. So you can listen to the word, you can hear the word, but if you don't put the word in play, you're not going to see the blessing from the word. Chance and circumstances happen to everybody, so you'll assume you're being blessed, but not the blessings of Elohim, Yahuah. Your blessings are limited. Your blessings have a seal on it, a ceiling, on it. Your blessing only goes so high. But when Yahuah blessed, David said, overflows. It falls all over, everywhere. Everybody get blessed. We studied that just past Wednesday night. When Abraham was blessed, everybody that was with Abraham was blessed, right along with Abraham. Wasn't just Abraham. They were with him, and they were blessed because they were with him. And it was Yahuah who did the blessing because Abraham was walking up righteously before Yahuah. We read about that in Genesis chapter 15. The book said that Abraham was considered a friend of the Creator. That's how much Yahuah loved Abraham, because Abraham was righteous, obedient, followed the commandments. He didn't let anybody take him off course. And if he did somehow by chance get off course, he course corrected. In other words, he guided back on course. He didn't just, fall down and stay down, make up an excuse. That's what a slothful man does, a lazy man does, a man that's fit, for an outhouse. That's what he or she does. laying around, fat and lazy, her ass getting wider while her jaws getting fatter. And talking about she a queen. Queen of the hogs, about it. Queen of the, okay, I'll stop, but you ain't no damn queen. That's what you tell yourself. Nah, you sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you nasty. Don't cook, don't clean, don't take care of the babies. You please. You ain't no damn body's queen. Better get off of Instagram. They lying to your ass. And them diabetes strike your ass for being overweight. I bet you ain't gonna be saying it then. Start amputating, cutting things off. You won't be saying it then. Teeth start falling out your mouth. They already falling out your mouth. But hey, when that gluttony catch up with you, you're going to see they lied to you and told you, girl, you look good just like you are. They lied. Your ass don't look good. You look like shit. Get in shape. Lose some goddamn weight. Exercise. Pray. Fast. It'll change your ass. But let's go on here, brothers and sisters. Verse 27. And the people answered him after this manner, saying, now David repeated back. Let's go back to what David said, verse 26. And David spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that kills this Philistine and takes away the reproach from Yasharel? Reproach is another word for harm, H-A-R-M, harm. He said, what's going to happen to the man that removes the harm from the people? I can tell you what's going to happen to the man that removes the harm from the people. Yahuah is going to bless that man to the point, brothers and sisters. He's going to be in royal garments. He's going to have splendor. He's going to have his own, throne. Go back and read Enoch 105, verse 22 through 24. You're going to see what's going to happen to that man. He's going to get promoted to the top in the kingdom of Yahuah to come, the world to come. And Yahuah going to make sure he's good right here. That's why you brothers that standing with Elder DFG, stay right here with me. Just like the men got blessed for being with Abraham, you stay right here. This Abraham. Because I'm going to do what Yahuah says. I'm going to follow them commandments. And I'm going to call out folly, I'm going to call out foolishness. And there will be accountability where I am, wherever that is. And those who can't handle accountability, they can kick rocks. Just going back out there and wait for the dogs that Jeremiah says coming for you. Because they're coming. Did not Jeremiah remind you? He said the dog's going to eat them. The bird, the buzzard's going to eat them. Y'all know what a buzzard is, right? The rat's going to eat them. The men and the women. That's their reward for rebellion. And we'll get down to that in a moment. But here's David saying, okay, tell me again. Because I see this dude over here, and I see y'all over here, and I'm kind of wondering why y'all talking about it but ain't doing nothing. We with you, elder. Okay, where you at? I mean, I see a few, but only a few. Kind of remind me, what is that? 4 Ezra 8:1, brothers and sisters. The world was made for many, but only a few will be saved. I feel the same way. All of these folk who out there, be with you, elder, but I'm like, where? Only a few y'all from what I can see. Because with me ain't just talking about it. With me it's contributing in every way to what we're doing. The studies, thumbing up these messages, sharing these messages. And everything else that you know you should be doing, even though you don't want to do it with your rebellious selves. Many. The righteous few, not you, okay? Don't be conflating yourself in with the dogs. These are pearls. You're a pearl, we don't put you in there with in the slop. Not talking about the pearls. We're not talking about the diamonds. We're not talking about the righteous men and women. I'm not talking about them, but it's just a few of us, so we got to identify the rest of them so they can understand clearly why Yahuah is going to be so harsh. Why he's being harsh with them right now, and why he's going to be even harsher before this winter is done. They think shutting down this government is the end of this game. No, it ain't. It's the beginning. I told people this. Let me say this. I'm getting back to David because we talk about a lack of bread, a lack of resources here. I'm going to tell you something. First, they said this. Check this out. They were putting tariffs on everybody. Well, first I told you, brothers and sisters, about BRICS years ago. If you've been following this work, I told you about BRICS. BRICS was a bunch of nations that got together to end the exploitation of the West. So these were like an Eastern bloc, like it was with Russia, when it was the Soviet Union, fighting against the West, NATO, American or white Western greed. And so these BRIC nations in the beginning was Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. South Africa. BRICS. Well, not AS, I'm sorry. South Africa. And these countries got together and said, you know what, we're going to come up with our own banking system. We're going to come up with our own currency. We're going to start trading among each other. After all, 2/3 of the whole world's population, in our countries. India, China. I don't know if I said China when I said BRICS. Brazil. They said, no, that's Russia. They said, we're a big country with great minerals. Let's just, look out for each other. And let's all come together and work as a unit, unlike Israel is willing to do. And then we could be a force to be reckoned with, which Israel could be if Israel chose to do, but they won't. So you out there, brothers, saying, well, that's what I've been saying, Eldon. Again, Israel ain't never going to win anything if Israel don't put Yahuah first. You can believe that. Not going to happen. The heathens, on the other hand, they don't have Yahuah. They have their own gods. And that's, they all that's going to get destroyed. But we're talking about right now. So get off the swing low, sweet chariot. Coming. We don't need no Harriet Tubman. We don't need no goddamn Frederick Douglass and no W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washingtons. We don't need no goddamn Malcolm X and Dr. King. That shit been played out. They did that, tried that, and they failed. And you new version of that, trust me, you're bound to fail too. Except Yahuah built the house, they labor in what? In vain, the Psalm says. And that was for Israel. So BRICS got together. They got their own, economic bloc, and now it's spreading. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, these other countries are joining in. Some say even Mexico. Definitely Venezuela. And so what they're doing, brothers and sisters, right now, they're trying to, fight out against America. And by fighting America means that they're not trading, necessarily with the dollar anymore. They're trading for gold. They want real currency. And since America doesn't have any, now they want to use their military. Thieves and robbers. Remember I talked about Custer earlier, going to the West, claiming you want to expand the Western territory, which means you want to rob and steal the land from the natives who have been there for thousands of years. So the show has begun. So he says tariffs to throw you off because they're not trading with us. And then he come right behind the tariffs, and then he started talking about inflation. Tariffs, inflation, prices going to go up. Then right after that, he started eliminating what he said, Dodge. Remember? The Department of Government Efficiencies, cutting things. And somewhere in the middle, he stuck the prisons in. You know what I'm saying? Alligator, Alcatraz, Long Store, lockup. All these little things, got a place for some of y'all to be living real soon. If you don't want to be part of coming out, they got housing for you. Give it a minute. And then it went from that to what? Cutting down on the services, right? Department of Government Efficiencies. And it went from that now to getting rid of, again, SNAP or whatever you call it, at least minimizing it. They will probably release it again, and then they're going to come back and take it again. Give it a minute. Everybody's in on it. Everybody know about it. Democrats know what's going on. Republicans know what is going on. The independent, they're all working together behind the scenes, of course. Got to give you a show. Got to make it look real. Got to make it believable, right? So they're putting on a good show for you. So now, it's the EBT, right? And then on top of that, what did Donald Trump do just recently? And I'm just saying the government. I shouldn't say Trump. I know better than that. He's just a useful, dumb pedophile. He would try, dope dealer. I'm sorry, gambling. My bad. Heathen who's being used as the face for corruption. So now they took $35 more billion and they're going to add Ozempic. Ozempic, I think is what it's called. Ozempic. That weight loss drug. So they're going to push that out. Now if you on Medicare, you can get Ozempic. Why? So you can lose weight. Why? Because it cuts your appetite. Why? Because we don't have no more food. Why? Because they're not trading with us. Why? Because they have a financial, economic block against us. Now, when is your pastor going to tell you this, brothers and sisters? Because some of y'all been in these churches way too long, and he ain't brought this up yet. She hadn't brought it up yet. You're not asking why? Either they're too ignorant to know why, dumb, greedy dogs, ignorant, dumb. The book said ignorant, dumb, greedy dogs. They might not even be greedy dogs, but they're still ignorant. Or they're in on it. It's either or. They're either too dumb to know, or they're part of the show. And the nations around the earth, this earth, you to pray. It don't matter what your ethnicity is, but if you Israel, you have the whole saying when America gets cold, the rest of the world gets the flu, and if you're an Israelite, you're gonna get pneumonia. After all, what did David say? Psalms 83. They're confederate against you, us. That's not victimhood. That's actuality. This is exactly why they promote division among us and hate the fact that I come in and if I say something, again, like I said earlier, I celebrate the righteous daughter of Zion, and you got these little wicked, little two-legged, useless, impotent, so-called Israelite men got a problem with it. I wonder if they talk to their mama like that. If they got little daughters, I wonder if they got a problem with their daughter. I wonder if they call their little daughters whores and bitches. I'm just saying that they call the rest of no good, rotten. I wonder if Sahor with GMS called his mama a whore. Little wicked Israelite women. I wonder if Dow calls his mammy, but I heard that his mammy just died not long ago, and I heard he had all kind of waiters and waitresses around there taking care of her. But the ones under the ones that he can exploit to pour out his wicked seed in, he called them a bunch of shit. Now I'm not misquoting the man, and everybody affiliated with him, those who were with and gonna be or used to be, doesn't even matter. But then it ain't just them; it's right across the board. You'd be shocked how many men who watch these messages think just like them damn heathens. And when a real man comes up and just call it out what it is, spade to spade, you got a problem with me. Well, guess what? I got a problem with you too. So we good. I don't call you my brother, and you don't need to call me your elder, your pastor, your I ain't nobody's pastor. Your prophet, your wife. You don't need to call me none of that. Call me your adversary. Because I am your adversary. I'm not your goddamn friend. To me, you're a filthy Philistine. The equivalent of one anyway. You can't respect your women. You can't respect a righteous stranger woman who ain't doing you no damn harm and does good wherever she can. Then you can go get on out there in them damn fields where you belong and pick that cotton. But you ain't going to do it unless Master shows up there with a whip. You'll do it then. So he got the prison set for you. FEMA camp waiting for you. You'll be there. But let's go on back to the nitty-gritty, back to the business at hand. Look at this, brothers and sisters. There's David. And David spoke to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that kills this Philistine and take away the harm from Yasharel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living Elohim Yahuah? See, David is putting his book first. David is putting the Creator first. David is saying, wait a minute. This earth, this world, think that it's going to defeat the Creator? This world think all their armies is going to fix the problems of this earth? That's what David is saying. David is saying they're going underground with their $270 million bunkers, Zuckerberg and the rest of them. They really think that somehow or another, what is that place, the sea, Santos or something, I can't never get in a place, it's harvesting all these seeds. It'll come back to me for the day after the disaster. Monsanto. That's who it is, Monsanto. Harvesting seeds, brother, storing them away. Make sure, starvation happens here. See, there's enough food to go around, but just not enough, profit in it. So they'd rather see you dead than to see you fed. I'll say it again, they'd rather see you dead than to see you fed. And because you're dependent upon them, that's going to be your dread. Not trying to rhyme this out, but it does go together. So you're going to be in dread because you're waiting on them who want to see you dead to keep you fed. And that's why I said more times than when you're building up their coffers while they build your coffins. But see, David was smart. First thing came to David's mind was the Creator. I said, nah, Yahuah is with me. Yahuah is with us. We ain't got to be afraid of them. And I say the same thing. No weapon formed against me is going to prosper. Every tongue that rises up against me, I'm going to judge it because Yahuah said I should and could and I have and will. Why he said, because this is the word of his righteous. Read it for yourself. But more than read it, embrace it. And embrace it and not mean, well, I believe it. No, how is it manifested in your life? What are you doing to show your courage? Are you worried about paying something? Are you worried about what you don't have so you do nothing? You hate your brother because you're not the one in charge? What is it exactly? State your case. The world is watching, Yasharel. But then again, all you got to say is I hate my brother and I hate my sisters. I hate my men. I hate my sisters. Well, aren't you saying I said the wicked. I said nothing against the righteous. What did David say? I hate those who hate Yahuah. I'm saying what David said. I hate those who hate Yahuah. If you out there serving this earth, this world yourself, you out there investing, spending money on their holidays and their festival days and their feast days. You over there spending money, in their shopping centers and their malls. But as soon as someone says anything about you helping do this work, you got something to say. Yeah, I hate your ass. Because Yahuah hates you. Because you love your goddamn enemies. You rather see them succeed than putting your resources inside of your own kind, your own people, your own leadership that can inspire you and direct you, encourage you to be successful. And that's going to be your detriment. That's always been the detriment of our people. Selfishness. Always pointing the finger. Watch this. Show you that this is the old behavior that's still happening today. Verse 27. And the people answered after him this manner, saying, so it shall be done to the man that kills him, talking about that wicked Philistine. And Elijah, his eldest brother, heard, and when he, talking about David's elder brother, heard David when he spoke to the men. And his older brother's anger was kindled against the heathen. The oldest brother's anger was kindled against the Philistine. Was the oldest brother, bitter towards the enemy? No. No. Just like now. No. He's angry at David, his own kind. Because David is not a coward. Because David is willing to stand. Because David wants to know so he could do something about it. So no, he going to attack, the righteous. Because he is unrighteous. And that's happening right now with our brothers and sisters. Many of you daughters of Zion are getting attacked by unrighteous men because his ass is unrighteous. And because he has nothing to show for his unrighteousness, he wants to make you the victim of his vitriol. You the reason. And because the daughters of Zion have allowed themselves to be distracted, focused on everything but the right things, she just looks at him and just said, I don't need you. And now she's prey for the predators. Now she has no defense when the enemy comes. And she can talk all that stuff about, God going to protect you and all this stuff. You can say that all you want. Watch and see. I guarantee he's not. Your ass don't have no covering. It means you unprotected. What are you talking about? And Yahuah is not no fallen angel, so he ain't laid up with you. He ain't sleeping in your bedroom. That's man's job. You might want to go over there and read Enoch, 105. He said, you were made for a man, not for a damn spirit. Yahuah is not, he's the creator. I'm not calling, not something. He just said, I don't sleep with no women. And those angels who did, their ass is locked up in hell right now for it. So no, sister, he ain't your husband. And no, he's not your covering. He gave you men for that. If you can't deal within that, then you're going to deal with the consequences because you can't deal with that. That book clearly states that, he said that what? Adam, I will give you a woman to be your helpmate, not Yahuah's helpmate, your helpmate, Adam. She's for you. So if you can't be a helper for a man, then y'all say you are useless. So deal with that. You can't change it because you don't agree with it. Sisters, since you call yourself righteous, but you're not righteous. Not with that mentality, you're not. That thunder and earthquake come, and the disease and the plagues come, the hunger comes, and the ravages, and the desolation and destruction come. You're going to be right there in the middle of the damn firing line. You're going to be the bullseye. Because you could not let that pride go. You and all them potato chips you like to eat. Them Big Macs and chicken nuggets you feed them babies. And that's why they look like little third world pot-bellied pigs. Equal here, baby. I ain't looking for no friends. I'm looking for warriors. I'm looking for a righteous remnant. I'm looking for the Abigails and the Judas and the Davids, the Elijahs. Verse 28, and Elijah, David's eldest brother, heard when he had spoke unto the men. And he was angry with David and said, why came you down here? And with whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? Now see, this is how they always gonna, oh, he this, and oh, that's what the book says, woe unto the scorner, woe unto the mocker, woe unto the foolish, woe unto the simple-minded. Because see, this fool is being a simple-minded idiot. Because now you want to attack David. What about the sheep? If you read earlier, David had already taken care of the sheep. The sheep was secure. The carriage was secure. David was on a mission while they're standing over there talking about something, David being about it. That's why I say to you, my brothers, don't get caught up in there sitting in the backdrop talking about, when I get my stuff together, elder. Nobody trying to, no, do something now. By the time you get your shit together, the war be over with. Use what you have in your hands. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about your energy, your vision, your focus, your community, your camaraderie, your masculinity if you still have some. Boy, it's too late for you. But look what it goes on to say. And I know your pride. Now you're going to accuse him of being prideful. We've heard that. I see the pride coming all over your face. I've been told that. You brutish. Well, Abraham was called brutish. Nothing new there, sister, brother. The accusing of being prideful. And the wickedness of your heart. Ain't that something? David's talking about being courageous. David's talking about being a stand-up man. David talked about fighting for the people and asking them, why are y'all taking this shit from these devils here? Why are y'all afraid of them? Why you won't opt out of their system? And he's being called wicked. Nothing new under the sun, right, brothers and sisters? Same old thing, just a different day. Said that earlier. But I tell you one thing about it, those of you who might say, yeah, but I'm going to tell you, if that applies to you, the same thing that happened to them is going to happen to you. I'm talking about all of that you who were destroyed, but talking loud and doing nothing. Watchmen and watchwomen are men and women who are activated. They're not sitting around, thinking about it. They're not sitting around here horrified, scared. They engage. They're taking steps. They're not talking about taking steps. They are taking steps. David is in the back room talking behind the back of nobody. David right out front talking to the men saying, what's happening here and why y'all scared of him? I thought y'all said y'all trust Yahuah. And if you trust Yahuah, then what's your problem? So these are, I believe, but help my unbelief fools among us, brothers and sisters. Jeremiah talked about them. Said they got ears to hear, eyes to see, ears to hear. But they're a rebellious, foolish nation. Because they can't see with their eyes and they can't hear with their ears. I guess I better say that tightly right. I'll put it in my word, but most of you, it ain't the way the scripture reads. So let me read it to you just as the scripture reads it. Jeremiah 5:21. Hope that makes you feel better. Hear you this, O foolish people, without understanding. Nobody can tell you nothing. You don't even know what's good for you. Warn him that called what's good for you bad and what's bad for you good. And that's many of our brothers and sisters. I'm talking about Israel. I ain't talking about righteous. I'm talking about wicked. Even though David's getting called wicked for taking a stand against evil, now he's wicked. He's getting called wicked for taking a stand against a challenge. He's getting called wicked because he's not afraid. He's bold. Righteous, as bold as a lion. So I'm not afraid of this government. I'm not afraid of their armies. I'm not afraid of their police. I'm not afraid of anything. Yahuah is with me. Why should I be afraid? On the other hand, they're the ones who ought to be afraid of what David is actually saying. But see, you can't tell the foolish people that. Because they'll tell you, well, I believe in all that, but I ain't going to do that stuff, man. Shoot. That's Israel. But he says again, hear you now, verse 21, Jeremiah 5:20. Oh, hear now this, O foolish people, without understanding, people are destroyed. I'll get there for a lack of knowledge. Keep that in mind. They don't have understanding, or they reject understanding, they reject now, fool hate knowledge. Which have eyes and see not, which have ears, but they got them stopped up. They don't listen. They hear the word, but they're not going to do the word. Isn't that what Ezekiel 33 and 30 says? They hear the word, but they're just not going to do it. No way. I know I'm supposed to do these things. I know the book says I'm supposed to do these things, but you know, it's going to be a cold day in hell before I do it. They don't say it like that, but in other words, they ain't going to do nothing, brothers and sisters. And those of you, you know you ain't going to do nothing. You've always been like that. If you don't see the benefit for you, you don't do it. You know how you are. It's called selfish. You can admit it. Nobody going to do you nothing. Yahuah going to deal with you. When he fix these dogs, when these two-legged dogs on you. Four-legged ones too. Always got something to say. Let's go back over here to David. Watch this. Verse 29. Well, I can finish 28. He said, I know your pride is attacking your wickedness of your heart, lying. And nothing wicked about David. The book said David was a righteous man, except for that one little issue in his life. But you have come down that you might see the battle. And David said, here we go again. What have I done? You always got something to say. And that's just like these wicked Israelites today, brothers and sisters. Always attacking, but never doing anything. How are you going to attack us who are doing something when you're doing absolutely nothing? But y'all ain't doing nothing too. You're a lie. Yes, we are. We're doing more than you. But see, a fool hate knowledge. You don't want to deal with that because you're not going to, you know you're not going to do anything. You know you're not going to do anything. So you're just like David's brother. The oldest one who you think would be the wisest. But no, instead of him, standing with David and said, David, I'm standing right here with you. I'm going to fight right here. Iron sharpens iron, like a brother sharpens the continent of his friend. Proverbs 27 and 17. Instead of him saying that, no. He want to try to shoot the man down. He want to talk him down. He want to try to belittle him, marginalize him. Who you think you are, David? What makes you so special, David? David, you need to go back over there with them sheep, David. How you a king? Who said you a prophet? Why you calling yourself a king? Why you calling yourself a prophet? I don't know, because Yahuah said so. But I guess that ain't good enough for you. So you go follow the heathens. Eat off their plate. Oh, I'm sorry. Eat the crumb from your master's table. Because they ain't damn sure ain't going to let your ass eat off their plate. But you could be over having supper with us. You'd rather be over there, begging them. But you have something to say about me or us. Well, guess what? We don't care about what you have to say. And if we is just me, then let me say it clearly. I don't give a rat's ass about what you have to say about me. Because see, this man is going to take this thing. You can believe that. My life ain't wrapped up in no what somebody ain't going to do. Who will say going to be a righteous remnant? So I already know it ain't just me. But more than likely, it damn sure ain't many of you. Then David said, whatever I done now, there's always something coming out of your mouth. And he told him right. He said, shut your mouth on me, man. You always got something to say. You don't do shit. You're standing around here looking, and this man over here challenging you, talking about he going to take this from you and take that from you, and you don't own nothing. He don't owe you nothing. You still over there talking about, yes, you do. When I'm going to get my reparation. America need to write me a check. Better quit listening to Jason Black ass. He's Jason Black's black ass. Professor Black too, whatever he call himself. This nigga getting rich over there while he got, the rest of you niggas over there listening to him with his rhetoric. He hides in the dark. He'll throw you out there to the wolves. And then when you get eaten, he gonna, let me see the rest of these dummies. Come on over here, you next, because I ain't going out there. I bail you out, though. Yeah, right. Then. How about you just go to jail? We'll bail you out, Jason Black. But then again, we want to bail you out because your ass ain't coming out of the dark, right? You hiding. Somebody tell him this man over here is talking about his wicked ass. And this man is more educated than him, has a better resume than he has, and probably has accomplished more and has more than he has. And probably better looking too. Might as well throw that in. Even with gray hair. And if he really wanted to come out there and get with it, you know what I'm saying, probably whip his ass. But then again, he ain't coming out. So I ain't got to worry about that. That's a fight that's not going to happen. Verse 30. And he returned from him, and he turned from him towards another, and spoke after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. And when the words were heard which David spoke, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. So now the king getting involved. Now you're getting shadow banned, Elder DFG. Now we're gonna start unsubscribing your subscribers. We're gonna start dumbing down. We're gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, we start to water down. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna send our little scopers. We're gonna send our little trolls all through here. We're gonna send you some temptation over there, see if you're gonna fall for the draws that fall. I got something for the draws that fall. It's called RAID. R-A-I-D. You spray it for roaches and fleas. That ain't gonna work. What else you got? But that ain't gonna work. Your men folks, they ain't gonna come because, them niggas ain't gonna bust a grape. They just ain't got no fight in them. They got vaccinated and they preoccupied now. They playing Xbox and PlayStation 6 now. They ain't gonna fight. They fighting on video games. Woo, goodness gracious. That's your men folk? That's your baby daddy? Yeah, what it is, right? What can we say about that? Try this for a second here. What can we say? Hallelujah. So be it, because it's damn sure the truth. The enemy is fighting. The enemy is preparing for war. Israel's sitting over here doing what again? Waiting for Thanksgiving? I got to get my EBT because I got to buy my turkey. I'm going to buy my turkey. I need my cranberries, my sweet potato pie, my pumpkin pie. Yo, what we going to do if they don't have the EBT ready by, Thanksgiving? That's what Israel talking about. But Goliath them over there saying, now that we have something to do, with it, you niggas going to stay under our foot just where you always been. We need you back on the plantation. You daughters of Zion who love that white flesh so bad you just can't get enough of it. So we need you back in the bedroom. In our horse stables, we keep our horse. So when the company comes, we can entertain them with you. They sold a girl for a bottle of wine. You so fine. That's what they think about you. Yeah, you forgot. I didn't. You forgot about your history. You forgot about how you say the past is repeating itself. But you don't know this because you're too caught up. Because they done told you some eyelashes and some makeup. Get your hair done, even if it ain't your hair. Don't take care of yourself. It don't matter. That's you, girl. Just you. Big and beautiful. No, you're fat and sloppy and sickly. But nobody wants to tell you that. And since nobody wants to tell you that, I got to be the bearer of bad news. So like David, I'm going to come and I'm going to call it out. But at least I care enough to tell you, so I don't know if that counts. But you probably not. So they went and told the king, ratted him out. Then again, they meant it for evil, but Yahuah meant it for good. Verse 32, then David said to Saul the king, let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight this Philistine. That's a whole Israelite army sitting over there, standing there looking, doing nothing. And here's one man, one righteous man saying, I'll go. Kind of reminds me of Isaiah chapter 6. When Yahuah said, who will go tell the people? Isaiah said, well, I got a potty mouth. I'm sorry to say something to piss them off. But if you put your words in my mouth, clean mouth, your words is clean words, and you ain't worrying about, no potty mouth. He said, if you put your words in my mouth, which make your words are clean words, pure words, beautiful words, if you put your words in my mouth, and me speak your words through my words, yeah, I'll go. She send me, I'll go. And that's exactly what happened. So David told King, hey, look, I'll go. The rest of them ain't going to go. They ain't going to do nothing. They just going to talk. They're just going to journ up. They just want to journ something. They just want to be a part of something. But they ain't going to do anything. They think affiliation is activation. They think the next protest, Black Lives Matter. I can't breathe. Brothers and sisters, that's not the answer. The answer is right here. Watch. In this book, as our example. Now what happens, or what has to happen, if you intend to win. Verse 32, and David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail him, or fail because of him. Say, don't be afraid of him. Say, your servant will go and fight against this Philistine. Talking about Goliath. And Saul said to David, you are not able to go up against this Philistine to fight him, for you are but a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth. So even the king trying to talk him down. That's why I said, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do, brothers and sisters. Yahuah with you. You can do anything. Why do you think Psalm 97 and 1, 97, 91 and 7 is there? One put 1,000, right? 2, 10,000. Why do you think we know about men like Gideon? Again, Joshua, Moses, they were one. They were fighters, they were warriors, Abraham. There wasn't no tender and delicate men. Elijah, Elder DFG. Yahuah never changes. So where there's one there, there's one here. And I know I'm not by myself. But I can't make that proclamation for another man. You got to make that proclamation for yourself. And you can't just be talking about that's you. Where are you? Why can't I see you? I'm not talking about with this. I'm talking about in other ways. I see some. The ones I see, you know I see because we interact in other areas beyond the comment section. So you know we know who you are. And daughters of Zion, you too. I can see you. But where the rest of them at? That's what I'm saying. But then again, that's why the book said, for Ezra 8 and 1, the world was made for many, but only a few going to be saved out of it. Because most of them are going to just talk, claim to do it, profess to have done it. But when the battle really starts, they're not going to be anywhere to be found. They're going to be standing out there talking, but they're not going to do anything. Ezekiel said they love to hear the word. They love to sing. They love to dance. They love to celebrate. Let's all get together. When that's all they want to do. And then when they get together, they're going to just probably sit around and talk behind each other's back. Or worse. Let's get up. What did Moses, what Yahuah told Moses? You know, in Exodus chapter 32, he said if they laid down there to sleep and then got up to play. See, that's Israel. Sleep and eat. Step and fetch. Where the party at? Where the hoes at? Where the niggas at? How he said, let's get our drink on. Let's get our smoke on. That's Israel. When you talk about getting up early and rolling up your sleeves and let's all pull in together and build and create and fight. No. That's them. Just like David's brothers and the rest of the army. No. Even Saul, the king. He and king trying to pour water on the man's fire. That's why I say, brothers and sisters, don't listen to nobody. I'm talking about you righteous brothers and sisters out there. Don't let nobody pour no water on your fire. Don't listen to what your mama say, your cousin say, your ex-man say, your ex-woman say. Don't listen to what your children have to say. Don't worry about none of them. The shiftless do nothing. Don't let them tell you what you can and cannot do. See, we have a tendency to care for the careless. These people don't care, and you caring about them, so you're putting money in bags with holes in it. You know, we're not directed to care about the careless, those who don't give a damn. There's nothing in the book say care about those who don't give a damn. It tells you just the opposite to do. How can two walk together except they be in agreement? So if they're careless and you with them, that makes you what again? A fool. But eyes to see but can't see, ears to hear, can't hear. Without understanding. Which means whatever coming your way is going to take you down. And it's coming. So it ain't like you're going to avoid this storm. That's why I looked at, you hear that plane in the back, that's a storm. That's hurricane storm stuff. It's coming. And I'm going to say this to you again, daughters of Zion, you older ones too. Especially you older ones talking about what you going to do and what you don't need. You lying. Are you deceived? Maybe you're not lying, but you damn sure deceived. I guarantee you when somebody come and knock your door in, I ain't no good to where you're going to be done. You're going to be finished. And you young women too. You ain't got no fight in you. Your fight is your covering, but you don't want that because why? You might have to what? Serve him? You might have to take direction. I guess you forgot all about why the creator that you claim loved you so much created you. Because I can assure you, I'll remind you to be a helper to the man you despise. It's exactly why Deuteronomy said you cursed. Oh, you forgot? Deuteronomy 28. Let me help you. Torah. Put your oh how I love Jesus behind. But you claim you done with that. You ain't done with it. You might have left Jesus, but Jesus ain't left you. Look what it says here. The book of Deuteronomy 28, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 56, says this: the tender, the delicate woman, yeah, her, you, among you, which would not adventure to set her sole of her foot on the ground, or which you don't want to work, you don't want to do nothing, you want to sit on her fat behind and use her physicality to monetize herself, which makes her a whore. But she don't want to get her hands dirty, her foot dirty, because and her eyes shall be evil towards who? Her brethren. That's the men of your bosom. Israelite men. And towards her son and her daughter. Just to make sure you know he's talking about Israel when he says bosom. And towards the young one that comes from between her feet. Means the infants, unborn. And toward the children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for warning of all things secretly in that siege and the straiten for which your enemies shall distress in your gates. He is told what's going to happen. So you over there all that huffing and tuffing and bluffing about what you going to do. You ain't going to do nothing, and Yahuah is not with you because you're in rebellion. Just told you what's going to happen to you. You think the book is a lie? Talking about somebody. He said you were here to help the man he created. Who you helping? He got to be talking about you. Let's get back to David and Saul, Goliath, Philistine, the army coming, the war soon to come. The naysayers, the doubters, the haters, the envious, the bitter, the selfish. Verse 34, and David said unto Saul, your servant has kept his father's sheep. And there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. David said that they snatched it. See, even with a shepherd, you could get took. So all you're talking about, now this is David, and David's right there watching. And he said a bear and a lion, they came and grabbed the lamb, grabbed one of his. So sister, yes, you can and will get snatched up. The question is there going to be anyone there to get you back? So this is the question behind the question that you refuse to ask yourself. If I get taken, will someone come and fight for me? And why would they? David says there came a lion and a bear, and they took a lamb out of the flock. That's you. And I went out after him, and I killed him, and I delivered it out of his mouth. Now, I think we all agree that there was no shepherd like David. Yet, enemy did come in and snatch right from under his watch, right before his eyes. But what did David do? Did he run? Did he, oh, Yahuah? What about that lamb? What did that lamb do? Did that lamb like, bah, Yahuah, Yahuah got me. I don't need no man. Bah. Shit. You better be glad that David was there. Because Yahuah was like, that ain't my job. That's your man's job. That's what I put you down there to be covered for. Since you got a problem with him, then hey, that's between you and that wolf. That's between you and that lion. That's between you and that bear, honey. I put the man down here for you, but he ain't good enough for you. I'm talking about the righteous one. That you claim ain't none, but he was right here. Look what David said. The bear and the lion snatched one of them, had him in his mouth. They were goners. But not so fast. Because see, they were under protection. They were okay with being covered. They were okay with being given direction or following direction. So therefore, they were what? Protected. Is that you or is it not? And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and killed him. This is what David said. I fought for her. Why? Because he was under my protection. Otherwise, I would have said, no, I ain't got nothing to do with that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Verse 36 says, your servant slew both the lion and the bear. See this uncircumcised Philistine? He shall be as one of them. And since he's defied the armies of the living Yahuah, David said, moreover, Yahuah has delivered me out of the paw of that lion, out of the paw of the bear, and he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, Yahuah be with you. See, the book tells us, Proverbs 28:1 says what, brother? It says the righteous is bold as a lion. Talking about the men. David said, I wrestled with a bear, killed him. I wrestled with a lion, killed him too. Why was I wrestling with him? Because he put his hands on something that I was supposed to be watching, that was under, not supposed to be, that was under my covering. And they paid heavy for it. And guess what? I got my lamb back. My lamb's still alive. And said, when this army and these heathens come, David said, I'm going to do the same thing to them. So daughters of Zion, is he David? You better know that you know for sure. Because the lion, the bear, and the Philistine is coming. The giants are coming. And if this man is not tied into Yahuah, and he's not confident in Yahuah, I already told you what's going to happen to you. He's going to throw you there for bait so he can run while he's eating you. But you don't believe the elder. You just think I'm conflating and making it up trying to scare you. And I don't even know you like that. So what the hell I want to scare you? My job is to warn you of what's coming. And for the righteous amongst around you to remind you. Warn them, remind you. Warn them, but remind you. Why it's extremely important that you line yourself up with a righteous man of Yahuah. And put off all that stuff you learned, unlearn all that folly and that foolishness. Say, no, I'm going to relearn. I'm going to learn how to stand there, and I'm going to work with him. I'm going to be a helper to him. And what he asked me to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it, cheerfully. I don't have to be happy, but I damn sure am going to be cooperative. I'm not going to be a disruption. Because he's going to just toss my ass out if I do that. And I can't afford to be out there where the bears and the lions are, and the giants. Because they're looking for women just like me, the old ones just like you, the young ones just like you, the you just like you one they're looking for. And be careful, because you got a whole bunch of men who will stand around and tell you what you want to hear, sister. But when the trouble comes, guess what they're going to be doing? Standing around there just talking about what happened to you. Damn. They tore her to pieces, man. You saw that? Yeah, I saw that. That's about it. He ain't going to fight for you. He won't even fight for his own brother. He ain't going to fight for you. He ain't going to do it. He's not going to come over here with us. Because over here is accountability. Over here you have to be able to follow directions and be orderly, be disciplined. Over here you have to, have integrity. You have to not be a liar. Over here, when that shofar blows, you have to be willing to come. We talked about that Wednesday night, Numbers chapter 10. What happens when the alarm is sounded? What happens when the shofar blows? Both of them. Only shofar our people want to listen to, is Cardi B and Offset. And all the rest of those little nasty fools, male and females. They'll dance to that. They'll assemble to that. They'll pay big money to go see them, but wouldn't give a dime to support this work. Well, we know where their priorities are. So when the shit hits the fan, you better believe their righteous reward is coming to them. You put money in bags with holes in it. You're going to find out that was a mistake. So worried about yourself, you forgot about Yahuah's work. That's what Hagar says. Let's go there real quick. We're coming back to David. Hagar. Hagar chapter 1, verse 3. Then came the word of Yahuah by Hagar the prophet, saying, who you think going to tell you? Yahuah's going to speak through me to tell you, so whether you like it or not, you ain't changing nothing. You change your outcome by being gone and run off, that's fine, but you ain't changing the outcome. You'll just be caught, out there in the wilderness on your own. See if you can fight off the lions and the bears with no help. We will see, brother. Just how bad you are. Sister, you don't stand a chance. So you might well cut that out. Verse 3, then came the word of Yahuah by Haggai the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O you, to dwell in your chiseled houses? Talking about selfishness. Doing you. And this house lie waste? He's talking about the work of Yahuah. He goes on to say, now therefore, thus says Yahuah Almighty, you need to consider your ways. Think about what you're doing is what it's saying. You have so much, but you have little. Say you eating, but you don't have enough to eat. That's why you depend upon the government for their jobs and everything else, their subsidies and everything else. Their insurance, everything. Scared. What if? I don't know. What if you're dead tomorrow? What good is your insurance going to do next month? Since you what if, have you considered that part? There's a saying, and I know we don't do sayings anymore, but you know what? Say a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. You might want to use what you have in your hand and thinking about, waiting to see if something else coming. The book says, fret not for tomorrow. Boast not about tomorrow, for thou dost not know what tomorrow will bring. See, that's in the scripture too. But you ignore that. Or maybe I should say they ignore it. Maybe not you. Maybe you. Only you know. But Yahuah knows because his eyes go throughout the whole earth. He sees everything. Just like he told Asa, I saw you. I saw you compromising. I saw you loving, what I told you not to love. I saw you participating in what I told you not to participate in. I saw you, going against your brother. Utilizing the resources of his enemy. So I saw it. Now, therefore, guess what? You're going to have enemies for the rest of your life, Asa. So that's really the story of 2 Chronicles 16 and 9. We all familiar with the eyes of Yahuah go throughout the whole earth looking to show himself strong on behalf of those who love him. We know that. But the rest of that verse says that because you have sold your brother out, guess what? Now I'm going to sell you out. Since you hate your brethren, guess what Yahuah said? Guess what? I'm going to hate you. He said, remember all those times you prayed to me and I was there for you? But now all of a sudden you forgot all that? Now you make it about you? He said, okay then, this was going to happen to you. Ultimately, feet got rotten. Both of his feet got rotten, talking about Asa. And y'all killed him. He went to the doctors. Yeah, they didn't help him. Doctor can't fix what Yahuah is broken, brothers and sisters. You put your trust in this system all you want, but if Yahuah says it's going to get torn down, you're just putting money in bags with holes in it. You can put your trust in all you want. What if all you want? Now I can tell you what if is not trust. And you can say, well, I trust him, but you're just talking. Nobody, I don't believe you. I do not believe you. No more than Yahuah believes you. He sees you. He don't believe you. And he says, shall there be a secret? In other words, you trying to pretend to be that you're not, and I will not reveal it to my servant, the prophet. So just like Yahuah sees you, I see you too. I hear what you're saying. But I look at all those other little things, those other little moves you're making. You can't be quiet, for example. You can't be humble. Always got questions. What that's all about. I just want to know what the book says. What are you trying to know? Read the book. Come ask me, so I'm going to tell you what's in the book. That's exactly what I'm going to do. But Joshua said, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. I'm going to serve Yahuah. If you got problems written in this book, don't even waste your time. I'm going by this book. I don't care about your feel. I don't care about nothing like that. No more than, what did Amos say? Yahuah said, I don't care. I said, I despise your feast days. I despise your festivals. He said, I despise that. Yahuah said, no, I respect justice, equity, and judgment. It means understanding, correction, discipline, accountability, obedience, submission, ability to take orders and follow orders without running and talking back, mumbling, grumbling, discontent. It's going to help somebody. But it's also going to piss off a whole bunch of you. I already know that. But that ain't on me. Ain't my responsibility how you take it. My responsibility is to say it. Look what he said. You have sown much and you bring in little. You eat, talking about Haggai 6, but you don't have enough. He said you drink, but you're not filled with drink. You got clothes, but you're still not warm. He said you're earning money, but you put your money in bag with holes in it. So you're wasting it. Because you want to put it into things that are not helping Yahuah's work, to put it in things that does help Yahuah's work, but yet you think somehow or another Yahuah is going to reward you. And that's ass backwards, is what he's saying. That's perverted thinking. And he goes on to verse 7 and says, thus says Yahuah, you might want to consider your ways. You might want to think about it, is what he's saying. It all ties together. What's coming is coming, brothers and sisters. Nobody's stopping what's coming. I'm talking about the damnation, the destruction, Yah's judgment of this whole earth. It is going to happen. It's already happening. You can wish upon a star to follow where you are, wish upon a dream to find out what it means. Or you can read this book and understand. What's Sirach 34 tell you about the dreamers? What he said about you dreamers out here? Let's go over there. Ecclesiastes 34. Reads, verse 1. Says, the hope of a man void of understanding is vain and false. So you can have all the hope you want, sister. You can have all, the ambition you want, sister. You can do all, I can do good by myself. I got my self-respect. I'm this, I'm that. I'm everything and all things put together. Yahuah said, no, you're not. He said, no, you're not. A hope of a man that's void of understanding are false. The dreams lift up fools, F-O-L-S, fools, dreams. Whosoever regard dreams is like him that catches at a shadow and follows after the wind. Try to catch your shadow. I don't know, I'm trying to see if I can get a shadow. Try to catch, you can't catch your shadow. You can't follow the wind. The wind going to be long gone. You be like, wait. See, that's the equivalent of it. When you're trying to do what you want to do instead of doing what Yahuah says. When you're trying to create, your own version of the Creator. Trying to get one that fits what you want. It's called sorcery. Casting spells. But it's not going to work on him. It might work on the man that's in your bed or the woman, that you got, what I'm saying? I don't know. Wherever you have a hat, if you got one. Half of these men don't even want no woman. They want a man. Sister, just so you know, your stock is starting to dry up. Sold a daughter for a bottle of wine, don't forget. Joel chapter 3, verse 3. So, I'm trying to tell you something here. I hope you're listening. Goes on in verse 3, said, the vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleaned? Yahuah said, you can't use your arrogance. You can't use, your logic, woman. You can't use your pride, man. You can't use your way of doing things. He said, it's a way that seems right to a man. He said, just because you think you're right, he said, no, your righteousness is based off of what my word calls righteous. He said, I determine what is right. I determine what is good. I determine what is just. I determine what is acceptable, not you. Yahuah said, your thoughts to him is an afterthought. So your ways to him is no way. It's nonsense. That's why I say my ways are not your ways. My thoughts not your thoughts. So what are you thinking about? What thoughts are you having that's not aligned with this book that you think is, well, I guess all your thoughts you think is value. So I guess that's a rhetorical question. We already know the answer to you. You right, the word is wrong. Or you'll say the word is right, but you're going to still do wrong. Same, it's a difference without a distinction. And you're not going to consider your ways. You're going to sit here, you're going to hear this teaching, and you're going to go do exactly what you would have did if you did not sit here and hear this teaching. And you know it. That's what's so sad about it. And you tell yourself, no, I'm obedient. Oh, no, Yahuah's with me. Oh, no, you don't, these are lies you tell yourself. And it's sad. It's a sad, 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 sad song. But you love to sing it. I know he with me. Hello, song. Oh, Jesus, love me. Oh, Jesus loves me. Oh, Jesus loves me. 'Cause I say so. Well, Jesus is the devil, and so are you when you're going against this word. So sing on. Right on to hell. You go. Right along with Jesus and Yahuah and all the rest of them goddamn devils. Who said, if I call it unclean, you can't clean it. If I say it's wrong, it's wrong. And from that thing which is false, what can true come from it? So you can tell your version of the story. You can try to justify it. But that's not what I take away from it. Of course, that's not what you take away from it. You get it? What you take away from it. Because you're going to take away from it what you want it to say. Because you are not going to do what it actually says because you don't think you have to. So you the lamb that the bear grabs, and you the lamb that the lion grabs, that no shepherd on this earth is going to be there to take out of its mouth. What did Jeremiah 15, what is that, 3 says? Let's take a peek over it. I'm coming back to Ecclesiastes. Well, I think I said enough over there. Hallelujah. Well, no, I guess I need, verse 5 says, you divinators, you religious spirit, you woman, man, you soothsayer, you witch, you warlock, casting spells on Yahuah, praying to Yahuah, and he don't even hear your prayers because you're rebellion. You won't dress the way he says dress. You won't eat what he says to eat and not to eat. You won't listen. You won't respect the covering. You refuse and reject the covering. You sit there. You're lazy. You won't do anything. You lie. You say you're going to do something, you don't do it. You say, I'm going to start, and you never start it. You're going to engage, but you're disengaging by engaging. How does that work? You come in, but you never came. You went, but you did not go. You hear, but you can't be found. You love, but you don't obey. You want to be protected, but you want to have it your way. Not going to work. Just saying, I'm just telling you, it ain't going to work. Say, because you're nothing but a soothsayer. You're a dreamer. Your dreams are vain, and your heart fancies as a woman's heart in travail. Say, if you not be sent from Yahuah in your visitation, say, if Yahuah didn't send it, he didn't send it. If he didn't say it, it doesn't matter. That's what he's saying. You can say anything you want to say. If Yahuah didn't say it, he said, it does not matter, brother. Say, for your dreams have deceived you, or the dreams have deceived many, and they have failed to put, and they that have failed have put their trust in the damn dreams. Now, well, you're trusting in your own imagination of what the Creator is, not what He actually is. Yahuah is a killer. And yeah, He kills women. A lot of them. A lot of them. Now you hate Him, right? But I can show you He ain't killed not one righteous one. So there lies your problem. He said, many have failed. They put their trust in their dreams, their hopes, their ambitions. I want my child to go to college. I want my child to have a better life than me. Your dream, your vision. If that vision goes against Yahuah, that's the vision. House divided will not stand. How long will you be between two opinions? Is that not what Elijah told Israel? 1 Kings 18 and 21. He said, how long will y'all be between two opinions? You can't have a Yahweh and your way at the same time. So make a decision. And just like they did, you ain't saying nothing. Because you ain't going to do nothing. That's the problem. Is you're going to keep doing what you're doing. So therefore, the end going to be just like the book says it's going to be for them, brothers and sisters. Verse 8 said, the Torah shall be found perfect without lies. And wisdom is perfection to the faithful mouth. See, when you speak the truth of Yahuah, he says perfection. See, when you speak Yahuah's word, he said that is a perfect mouth. But when you speak out of your own mouth, from your own wisdom, your own logic, your own rationalization, your own justification, you end up in humiliation. You end up looking like a fool. You end up putting money in bags with holes in it, sister, brother, righteous so-called stranger. Y'all going to die one day. You do know this, right? I'm just saying. Whether your death comes tomorrow or comes 5 years from now, when Yahuah destroys it, you are going to die. You're not going to even consider that either, I suppose. You're just going, I'm only going to worry about these children. I'm only going to be worried about this man. I'm only going to be worried about that woman. That's it. What about your soul? Because it says the soul that sins, it's going to die, and that means you're going to hell. You're going to burn eternally. Your fire is never going to be put out. Don't listen to these little devils. There ain't no such thing as hell. Then ask these, no such thing as hell. Okay, Isaiah 66. Let's see. Let's see if there's a such thing as hell. They say ain't no such thing. But they believe in the Torah. They believe in Yahuah. They trust in his word. But there ain't no hell. Okay, Isaiah 66, verse 24. And they shall go, and they shall look forth, and they shall look upon the bodies, that's what a carcass is. They shall look upon the carcasses of men, that have transgressed, went against Yahuah, his word, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire, F-I-R-E, be put out. And they shall be abhorring, terrifying unto all of us who see them, burning in hell, which they say don't exist. Precept, I heard you. Let's go to Enoch 105. See what Enoch has to say. Man who walked with Yahuah. He saw all this stuff. Enoch saw the end. Enoch chapter 105, verse 27 says, "For the believing shall he give belief in the habitations of uprightness." That means obedient. "And they shall see those, like Isaiah just said, who were born in darkness. Unto darkness they shall be cast, while the righteous shall be at rest. The sinners will be crying," as Isaiah just said, "while we behold them," as Isaiah just said, "while we exist in splendor," and move forward to days and periods, while they forever being tormented. So I don't, what is the logic behind it? That's what I guess it's coming down to this. Who is telling me to tell you or present to you, brothers and sisters, talking about those who are rebelling. What is the logic for the decisions that you're making? You really think you're going to escape debt? You're not going to escape debt. I don't care who you are. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how brave you are. I don't care how badass you are, dude. You gonna die. And all that stuff you accumulated here on earth, all that beauty, all that, whatever you worship, you cared about on earth, ain't going to matter at all. Quite frankly, whatever matter it does have, it's going to determine whether or not you're going to be burning for eternity or not. And there ain't no escaping it. Daniel talked about that. Gabriel told Daniel what? Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. What did he say over there? Let's go there. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to go back to David. We're not quite done just yet. What did Daniel say? Because, this whole stuff about I ain't afraid of nobody. Nobody going to tell me what to do. And, Yahuah loves me no matter what you say. No, he doesn't love your ass no matter what you say. I'm saying the word. I don't know where you getting your logic from. Oh, I forgot. You still bringing that Christian antics over here. You believe a lie. Somebody else going to die for your sins. Then you're a fool. You dying for your own sins. I'll say you that again. You'll find out, though. You ain't got to listen to me. Go listen to the Reverend. His ass going to be right there in hell looking at you. You're going to be looking at him. And both of y'all going to be burning. But look what Daniel chapter 12, verse 2 says. "Many of them that sleep in the dust shall awake. Some to everlasting life," means you going to die one day. "And some to everlasting shame and contempt." You ain't escaping nothing. And if you drop down into verse 10, it says, "Many shall be made purified, and white and tried." You're going to be going through some things here. "And none of the wicked shall understand this, but the wise shall understand it." And the wicked going to keep on doing wicked is what he's saying. So the wicked ain't going to understand, because the wicked or the simple or the foolish will not listen unto the wise. This is why Yahuah is using the wise as his voice, as his chauffeur. What did Isaiah say? "Cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet." Well, we can move on from David because we know what happened. David went up against Goliath, cut his goddamn head off, and that was the end of that story. Let's go over to the book of Hosea. Let's continue on. This stuff is real talk. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because you have rejected knowledge. We just read through this several times now. Fool hates knowledge. Fool hates understanding. They say they want it. They say they believe it. They say they trust it. But they're not going to do anything with it. Ezekiel 33, just start reading that verse 30 down to 33. Yahuah says that's exactly what you're going to do. Many of you, he says what you're going to do. So you're not going to do anything. Say, oh, they're going to tell you, this prophet going to warn you, but you're not going to listen. So that this warning is going to be Yah's testimony against you. It's going to be his witness against you because you heard it, but you didn't listen to it because you were like, well, who is he? And Ezekiel said, he's the prophet. That's who he is. And you better listen to him or you're going to be sorry that you didn't. And your pride won't let you do that, will it? You better unsubscribe and run home and go tell mama. He made me mad, so I unsubscribed. He made me mad, so I ain't going to help him with the work of Yahuah no more. I ain't giving no more offerings. I'm mad. Huh, baby? And both of y'all wicked asses going to burn in hell. If you have one, probably don't even have one. If you do have one, he ain't much of one because he will be telling you, no, he's right. We better get our shit together before it's too late. That's what he will tell you, but he ain't going to say that. He needs you to tell him he don't need to obey this book. And you need him. So you're not by yourself when you're dealing with the consequences for not obeying this book. And then you got the outlaw out there. You know, your outlaws. You know anything about the streets, you know what I'm talking about. You outlaws out there, yeah, you running out there, you doing your own thing. You're going to go get that bag. You're going to be put in a body bag. That's what's going to happen to you. Chasing the bag, you're going to end up in a body bag. Oh, you're going to stay home and I ain't going to just do nothing. You're still going to end up in a body bag. The only way you're going to escape what's coming is you're going to have to put your heart and your trust in Yahuah. That means you're going to have to listen to his prophet, and that means you're going to have to be obedient. And the question here for you, outlaw, can you do that, outlaw? O-U-T-L-A-W. Outlaw. Renegade. Do as you will. Nobody can tell you nothing. Only Yahuah can judge you. He has judged you. He's left you, mark you for your own damnation. That is his judgment. You can't see it? That's why you're doing what you're doing. Instead of listening and course correcting, you're listening and fighting at the same time against the truth. And all you little wise dudes out there, a part of whatever you're part of out there, man, you guys stupid. You guys don't have any sense. I'm talking about all of you following these little wicked shepherds and pastors and you guys are dumb. Good a Webster dictionary, and I want you to flip the pages and go to the word dumb, D-U-N, and tell me what you see. I guarantee you're going to see yourself. You're the definition of dumb. You think you're smart. I'm the one stupid. Not so fast, Sherlock. You got a little bit more investigating to do. It ain't about you, dude. It's about him. And you let these hook and crook devils tell you that you had another Savior and there's another Redeemer, and you're so ignorant that they got you looking in the Torah for that demon that does not even exist in this Torah except for being called Moloch and Baal and Satan and Hagel, which is another word for Lucifer. Go read Isaiah chapter 14, dude. Y'all so smart. All right, we're going to find out. See, I got this whole Torah standing behind me. I got the whole Tanakh standing behind me. I got the heavenly host with me. I got the power of Yahuah ministering through my mouth, and you trying to tell us that you're right? Nah, you need to go take a bath, shave off that beard, grow you some locks, get you some ganja, get you some wine, cheap wine, because you ain't going to have no money to buy nothing better than that. You know that. And get out there on that corner and get you some dominoes. And talk shit with the boys. Because that's the best it's going to be for you. Damn, dude. You can't tell. You're looking right at me and you can't tell. Look at who you're following. And then look over here. And you tell me who you think is right. Oh, I forgot. You already made your decision. They're right. I'm wrong. Okay. Not for long. That's going to be corrected soon. But until then, shall we continue? Again, Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's them. Because you have rejected the knowledge. That's what I'm sharing. I will also reject you. That's your consequence. That there shall be no priest to me. In other words, y'all say, I ain't hearing nothing y'all over there saying. Praying all you want. Doing all your feast days, your festival days, your Passover, your Feast of Trumpets, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas. You can do all that stuff, all you want. See, I ain't seeing, I said, I see it, but I ain't recognizing any of it. You can keep your new moon Shabbat, your afternoon Shabbat, your Sunday Shabbat. Hell, you can even keep the 7-day Shabbat. You'll say it ain't going to work for you, though. I want obedience. I want obedience to my Torah. I want obedience to my watchman. Say, my prophet, him you will hear. And if you reject him, you're rejecting me. But they don't want to hear that. You know, they don't want to hear that, brothers and sisters. But that's okay. But he said, you ain't no priest to me. So daughter of Zion over there, you know, I'll say you're a daughter of Zion because you're Israel. But Yahuah said, he ain't listening to you, honey bun. He's not listening to you. Sorry. You're rebellious. You know that. You think you could just do what you want to do, but you don't have to do what the watchman tells you that Yahuah wants you to be doing. Must be nice to be you. But that's going to end bad for you because the book says so. Look what it says here. It talks about you. Come on, come a little closer. Get here. As they will increase, so they sinned. Y'all say the more they got all this work, the more things they got in their vanity, the worse they got. See, the more self-confident they got, the worse they got. The more they independent they became, we say the worse they became. And that's true. Y'all know it's true. He said, they sinned against me. Therefore, I will change their glory into shame. What did Isaiah say? Instead of full hair, you're going to be bald-headed. Instead of clean clothes, you're going to be in rags. Instead of, a body that's a natural sweet smell, you're going to stink. Instead of a healthy body, you're going to have a diseased body. You're going to have every kind of STD. And now, because you slept with no man, y'all going to strike your body. All that stuff you've been putting on, that makeup, all that food you've been eating. It's all laced with poison, right? You do know this, right? So ultimately, it's going to come from out of your vagina. You're going to stink. Even if you ain't had a man your whole life, you still going to stink. Even if you ain't had a man for decades, they'll have nothing. Man ain't got nothing to do with the stench that's coming out of you. That's y'all's judgment against you. But you don't believe it yet. He'll strike you with something. You'll see. Go ask somebody who's got cancer, see what comes out of them. Go ask somebody who's got liver disease. Ask them what comes out of their body. Just go have a conversation with them. Kidney disease. Go ask them. I've been around some. I've seen people throw up their intestines because they had liver cancer. They ain't slept with nobody to get that. See, I'm turning your glory into shame because you rebelled against him, is what he's saying. Verse 8, they said, they eat up sin as of my people. They eat it up. They like the sin. Sin is fun. What a party at? Girl, I'm going to get my drink on. Dude, I'm going to get my smoke on. Eat up sin. Sin for breakfast. They have sin for lunch. Sin for dinner and sin for supper. Well, we the righteous over here say we meditate on Yahuah's Torah, but evening, morning, and noon. They looking for the party evening, morning, and noon. So they eat up sin. Going hanging out with my best girlfriends. Going hanging out with my, with my dudes. You know how that works. What y'all going to do? Celebrate Yahuah? Where you covering that? How you know there ain't no bears and lions where y'all going? Y'all, does he even know where you're going? If you have one? Well, see, I can avoid it. I said, I can avoid it, y'all. I'm just going to stay inside. Mistake. What else can I tell you? It's a mistake. You're not going to be protected in there, and nobody else in there with you is going to be protected if you're not obeying this Torah. And this Torah demands that you have a covering, sister. Who else going to get you out the mouth of the lion or the mouth of the bear? What if he left? I don't know. Go find him. If he's righteous, you might want to go track him down. Find out what you need to do to, how you say, to reconcile. You ever considered that? But pride won't let you do it. Mary got put out and she came back in, remember? But Jezebel, she just threatened the prophet and just said, he can go screw himself. Who's better than me? That's what she said. I can do bad all, but I can get another you. Yeah. I wonder what she was saying when the dogs were eating her. Oh, I know what she was saying. She was just screaming. But then again, she might have been already dead when she hit the ground. But then again, she might have been screaming. Pain. She was inside. But she ended up outside anyway. Because she was doing what she wanted to do. She was going to have it her way. Regardless of what the prophet said. Remember, she even threatened the prophet. Tell Elijah he's going to be dead before the sun go down. Was she right? She thought she was right. She felt like she was right. Was she right? He told her on the hand that the dog was going to eat her. Was he right? Just ask. Was he right? Or was she right? You can read it in the book. It's there. First Kings, Second Kings Second Kings talks about it. It's there. But I think you already know the answer, don't you? But you're just not going to apply it to yourself until it's far too late. Your mistake. Let's go on. Verse 8. He says, eat up my people, or they eat up the sin of my people. And they set their heart to do wickedness, iniquity. In other words, selfishness. And there shall be like people, like priests. And I will punish them for their ways. And I will reward them for what they are doing. See, I talked about this the last couple of messages, brothers and sisters. There is a righteous reward for the wicked too. It's just going to be, hellfire. And disease and famine and hunger and starvation. And rape and murder and mayhem and suffering and weeping and crying. Destitute. Enslavement again. Tortured. I did say torture. They're going to torture some of y'all. Especially you women. This is where you don't want to hear that part, but it's coming regardless of whether or not you want to hear it. We teach out of Maccabees as well. We teach the whole book. But I just referenced Maccabees because you can see over in Maccabees what happened to the women, the children, the ones you love, you're supposed to be protecting. They were hung. And you, because you would not listen to the watchmen, I'm talking about them, not necessarily you, but maybe you too, were slaughtered. Go read 1 Maccabees chapter 2. It's there. Matter of fact, read chapter 1 and chapter 2. You'll see the story. It's right there. Exactly what happened to them. Because Judah Maccabees told them he was their prophet. He warned them. Said, don't listen to this king. Don't follow his religion. Don't follow their gods. You better get out of town. You better come over here with me. Follow me out. And they didn't. That woman, some of y'all like to talk about her 7 sons and how brave and courageous they were. Well, they were stupid too. Because they didn't have to die and suffer like that. They could have left. They stayed. They didn't want to listen. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't leaving my house. Going out there in the wilderness following all the DFG. Well, you may literally regret saying what you said. Just remember, I said it to you. And you ain't the first one to love that house so much. Love that life you living so much. You don't want to be inconvenienced. You don't want to get tried. You don't want to get tested. You comfortable. But I'm just letting you know, all that comfort, all that pleasure, all that I got it made, all that I worked too hard for this, ain't going to do you a bit of good when your enemy, them giants, come. And they're going to take it. You might want to read 4 Maccabees chapter 15. Say they're going to be breaking in, taking all your food, all of your spoils. They're going to be ravishing you, especially you women that don't have no men. That you are first to go. You're not no any man either. I already told you. He going to be in one room, having some sexual encounters with men while you in the other room. No, he's not. He's a bad dude. Well, a lot of them think they're bad till they get about 4, 5, 6 Goliaths coming up on them, and there's no strength of Yahuah in them. He ain't gonna make it. And neither are you. So you put your trust in the wrong man. You gambled and you lost. At least some of you will gamble and you will lose. Let me say that the right way. I don't know what you're gonna do yet. I guess you can tell us what you're gonna do. Or not. That's totally up to you. But you are warned. The heathens are running to the mountains. The heathens are running under the ground, building $270 million, mansions under the ground, and you don't think nothing is coming. Wow. Must be nice to be you. Food shortages everywhere, but you don't see you having no food. Must be nice to be you. Diseases, ones you've seen, ones you've been a part of, and more to come. And you know how many of you were treated. If you didn't go and follow their ordinances, you remember how they treated you? You forgot. Because see, now everything is nice. Y'all nice with each other now. But see, when the next one comes, you will either take it or you will get shunned again. But this time there ain't going to be no righteous man praying for you. Because you chose them over him. And you refuse to be contrite and you refuse to rectify it. So guess what? You're going to reap the consequences. And what's sad, that was your choice. So I'm reminding all of you, if you didn't do, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you didn't follow their ordinance, when they told you that you had to do it, you were going to lose your job, or you couldn't go into a restaurant. You had to have, your card. You had got all three. Y'all know what I'm talking about, including the booster. Remember how you were excluded? Remember how you were shunned and put away, called names? Remember that? Well, nothing has changed. They're just waiting for the next one to come. But they already said it's going to be way worse than the first one. So what you going to do? Just so that you're not by yourself, I guess you're going to follow them then, right? You didn't follow them the first time, but you're going to follow them this time. And whatever goes in that body is going to eat you inside out. Just remember, you will be the zombie. For real, for real. Your body's going to be stinking. Isaiah 3 talks about it. Your hair going to fall out your head. You're going to be out there living with the scum of the earth. You're going to be out there with all the sick ones, all the disease, the rats, the dogs, the cats. That's where you're going to end up at, because you're going to be like a zombie. Because it's going to eat you inside out. When you agreed this time to do it, but you didn't agree the last time, but now you kind of feel like you have to do it because you're by yourself. You don't have to be by yourself but you're too proud to deal with what it takes to fix it. So many of you sisters are going to go down. You might have passed the first round, you're going to fail the next one. Keep doing what you're doing. Mark it. Just remember I told you. Your brothers, same thing. You failed. You passed the first one, but the second one, you're going to fail because, you should have been getting strong in your reserve. You should have been getting closer to Yahuah. And you just got stagnant. You just right there where you were then. You ain't no closer now than you were, 2 years, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And some of y'all who took it that time, praise Yahuah, because I think you learned your lesson. I know you ain't going to take it in place. You've already lined yourself up with the righteous remnant. You're already over here with elder. So you, on the other hand, ain't going to be repeating history. But you wonder why Isaiah 3, what you're reading that, what's going to happen? People dropping dead through war, through whatever, suffering, diseases. Think about it. Just do the math. Like I told you earlier, the whole thing about the food supply is about a shortage of food. Not because they don't have it, because they ain't planning on feeding nobody they don't need. AI is going to do your job. So they don't, whatever that is. It's going to replace you. So what you think they're going to do with you? Just have you walking around ravishing and raping and killing them? Stealing from them, robbing them? You think that's the life they want to live? They're going to get rid of you. They'll starve you out. And it doesn't matter where you are. Only place that's going to be protected, is those who are following Yahuah. He says, I'm going to protect that small righteous remnant. They are only ones going to be saved, and even we are going to be under attack. David had to actually go out there and fight Goliath, if you know the rest of the story. It wasn't like he went over there and, Goliath, you uncircumcised Philistine, I ain't scared of you. And Goliath turned around and ran. That's not the way that happened. No, David had to fight. He won too, but he had to fight him. They got physical. Yeah, it got physical. But like David said, Yahuah with me. And I know it because I'm with him. David was obedient without flaw to Yahuah. What that, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel? Was that 2 Samuel chapter 12, I believe? Where David got into that situation and Nathan came to David. David said, I sinned against Yahuah. I ain't sinned against no Uriah. He said, no, my sin was against Yahuah. And David David wasn't playing no game. David like, okay, whatever I got to take. He said, but tell you what, I won't do it again. David said, I'll do my contrition. And he did. He accepted contrition. He made restoration. He restored what he needed to give back. He took a life, he gave up a life. He didn't go and point his finger at Yah. He didn't blame Bathsheba. He didn't blame nobody. He accepted full responsibility for the decision that he made. Because he was a righteous man. He wasn't looking for somebody else to blame. He didn't blame Nathan. Nathan, why are you in here telling me about this? Nathan, why are you over here talking to me like this? Nathan, who you think you are, Nathan? Nathan, who made you the prophet? Who made you the boss, Nathan? Who put you over everybody, Nathan? David didn't say nothing like that to Nathan. David respected what Nathan had to say. And Nathan told him, wait a minute, I'm going to tell you exactly what Yahuah has to say about this situation. And when Nathan came and told David, David didn't get all no attitude or attack Nathan. He just said, okay then. He rewarded me for what I did. Shouldn't have did it. So that's why I said, as a righteous reward, that's consequential. Like negative consequential is what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. Because many times we hear the word reward, we think celebration. No, sometimes reward is condemnation. So no, we're going to get tried. That's what Daniel said. I read it to you a moment ago. Daniel 12 and 10 said, you're going to get tried. All of us going to get tried. Some of us going to come out, stronger than we went in, and others going to burn. Just burn the ashes, just like Hiram in that fire. Abraham's brother, remember? Joshua chapter 13. They both went in the fire, but only one came out the fire. You wonder why didn't the other one come out? They were brothers. They both got the same accusation against them. They both were charged with the same crime. Because Daddy lied and say both of them did it. That's why all of y'all caught up with this family stuff. So you better cut that foolishness out. Your daddy will get you killed, sister. You ran off because you love Daddy, and the elder said something against you because you can't leave Daddy. Well, don't change anything. So, hey, California girls, so be it. Teacher, you know what I'm talking about. Daddy gonna sell y'all out. And it's gonna be all your fault. But let's continue on here. He says this. But your reward, they're going to be rewarded for their doing. Y'all say, I'm going to punish them for their ways, and they will be rewarded for what they did. Verse 10, and they shall eat and not have enough. Same thing that Haggai said. And they shall commit whoredom, and they shall not increase. So all that, as long as I got a vagina, I ain't never going to be broke. Not so fast, sister. It's going to be stinking down there, remember? We talked about that in Isaiah 3. Remember that? It says, through the sweet smell, you're going to stink. I told you to go read it. So you know what's going to come. So you can avoid it if you choose to. But you don't want to read that because I don't want to be reading nothing. That's some of you. I don't want to hear nothing. You think just because you avoid listening, knowing, and understanding that that's going to spare you, you must be out of it. Damn, you stupid. You ain't avoiding nothing by ignoring it. Damn, goodness. You would know better. He goes on, and you shall not increase, because you have left off to take heed to Yahuah. Again, putting money in bags, because you care more about yourself than you care about Yahuah and Yahuah's work. That's what Haggai said. This is what Hosea is saying. Tobit talks about it in chapter 4, 6 through 11. But you don't want to hear none of that. You don't think any of it matters until it matters. That's your problem. That's always been a problem with our people. They're like the days of Noah, too late. Come, I repent now. You can read it in Joshua 6. I repent. I'm sorry. Too late. You had your opportunity. Noah, for 2 generations, warned them. 2 generations, he warned them that judgment was coming. And they ignored it. 120 years, 2 generations. 80 years, 80 years. Remember, the lifespan of a man is 70 years plus 10. 2 generations, he warned them. They didn't listen. Your grandma told you about it. Your mama told you about it. And you ain't did nothing about it yet. Then again, your grandmother and your grandmother and your mama ain't told you crap. Because they were all about whatever they were about. They damn sure wasn't about this Torah. At least in most cases they weren't. So you can't use them as an excuse. One way or the other. Because they're going to get judged. They're going to burn in hell too. Maybe if you come out, that could be just if they were, ignorantly led astray. But they were what you would call, people who really did pray and read their Bibles and things like that. Way maybe Yahuah will use you as a conduit for them. Maybe. But you would have to be straight up doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're so busy worrying about what's going to happen to them. Why don't you get your shit together and you don't have to worry about them? Get your life in order. Why don't you follow the Torah? Why don't you be over here learning and growing and preparing? But see, you ain't going to do that. You just want to talk. You just want to run your mouth. You just want to get in the comments and say all kinds of stuff. Trying to impress us with your scripture. We're not impressed. Impress us with your life. How you live. Oppress us with your obedience. Oppress us with your discipline, your consistency, your resiliency, your ability to be contrite. Because that's what Yahuah is looking at. You see, a big problem with Israel is this. You refuse to identify the lie within yourself. And therefore, that lie is going to destroy yourself. I wrote it down. I said, we must find the lies within us and deal with them. And this is what goes on with all of us. These little lies, little things that going on, but you don't want to deal with it. Your insecurity, your fear, your lack of trust, quite frankly, your rebellion to the truth, your resistance to the truth. You don't want to have to answer to nobody. Just tell the truth. Or you want a bad boy or a bad girl. You want a whore, a tramp. a thief, a thug. So that's what you visualize. You know, you don't want to do it yourself, but you're infatuated with it. With them little whores, Destiny Child, I want a soldier. With them other little whores, TLC, I don't want no scrub. You want somebody to use, abuse. Shame on you. Again, verse 10. Say, well, they shall eat and shall not have enough. They shall commit whoredom, and they shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed of Yahuah. Whoredom and wine, new wine, which deceives their mind. See, in other words, it's saying your lifestyle is going to be the death of you. Your preference is going to be the death of you. Your comfort is going to be the death of you, my brother. That's going to be your destruction, your comfort, your unwillingness to let it go. Your unwillingness to change your heart to Yahuah. In other words, you about you. Yahuah is like, your backup plan. And he ain't nobody's backup plan. Damn sure not yours. That's what you tell yourself. Remember we talked earlier in Sirach 34 about the dreamers. You're projecting on him what you want him to be, what you want him to see. But the rest of us are grinding it to powder. We out here getting it done day in and day out, fighting the fight, fighting the struggles, going through the moments, going through the, whatever emotions that are, we're dealing with. We're dealing with it. And you over there, chilling. You don't want, you ain't paying no price for this. You want something for nothing. You want Yahuah, but you don't want to, you don't want to invest in him though. While we, those who are truly invested, taking the hits. And you like David's brother just talking crap. Looking, but you ain't going to do nothing. Listening, but you ain't going to do nothing. Aware of the situation, but you ain't going to do nothing. You wait for somebody else to do it. See what's going to happen to them. Let them go first. Let's see what happens to him. And then I'll decide. Nah, don't work like that. Noah built that ark while they were watching him. And then when he finished building the ark, what did they think, brothers? So they were going to get a ride. Didn't happen like that. Only people that got in that ark were those who were building that ark. The only people God's going to not destroy those who are over here with us who aren't going to be destroyed, over here doing the actual work for real. Those that, how they said, put their money where their mouth is, put their back into it. Not standing around talking about it, discussing it. I wonder what's going to happen. You'll see. While you wondering, we doing. And when that door's shut, it's going to be shut for real. Y'all say there's going to be a famine of the word, brothers. Don't forget what Amos 8 and 7 say. There's not going to be a famine of water and food, which there will be, but it's going to be also the worst famine of all. That's the famine of the word of Yahuah. There will be no more voices. They're going to cut this out. You'll be able to talk to the Dows and the camps and Bishop Nathaniel and whoever else is out there in your churches. They'll be there because they're going to ride or die with Satan. They are Satanists. All of them Luciferians. You just don't know it. Your sorority, your fraternity, those who were ordained, your ordination, it's all Luciferian. Your secret societies are not so secret. Your Freemasons, your Eastern Star, your Shriners, whatever you're doing. Your church. You know, the daughters of the church, the mothers of the church, you know what I'm saying? The elders of the church, you know what I'm talking about. The committees. Some of you are a part of them. Some of you are still a part of them. Have you noticed that your grandma was a part of that same committee? And how did she die again? Wealthy and prosperous? Just asking. Might want to learn something. She kind of telling you something. Grandpa too. What did he own again? How did he die? How was mankind better because he lived? Tell us again. We listening. Oh, okay. Waiting. Since you imitating him and you serving who he served, you serving who she served. So, I mean, you know, you are putting your faith in something that's foolishness, right? Didn't work for them, ain't gonna work for you. But you stay over there in church. You love your damn Jesus, your Yahuah, however color his ass is. Stay on over there. Just stay right on over there. And all of you claiming you love Yahuah, but you don't obey this commandment, you might well go back over there because the same thing going to happen to you too. You the horse he talking about. You love him, but you do what you want to do. That's whoredom. Verse 12, my people ask counsel at the trees, and their staff declares unto them. For their spirit of, they have the spirit of whores, or whoredoms, has caused them to be in error. Remember what Isaiah said over there? Let's go to Isaiah 3. Daughters of Zion. Come here. Come here, let me tell you something. Let me read something to you. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women ruling over the men with an abomination. O my people, which lead you, cause you to what? Be in error. They're destroying your path, not blessing your path. And then it goes on to read, you're going to get judged. You're going to beat you to pieces because you're high-minded. You're going to take away your bravery. You don't need nobody. We'll see. You're going to take away all them clothes you love, your headbands, your rings, your nose jewelry, your suits of apparel, your bag, your glasses, your fine linen. Shall come to pass, little sweet. You're going to stink. To the clothes, you're going to be in rags. To the having hair on your head, you're going to be bald. You're going to have a burning down there for your beauty. Your men going to be slaughtered, your mighty, and you're going to be homeless on the ground in desolation, begging for help. And then there's going to be 7 of you running to one man saying, take away this reproach. In other words, lay down in the bed with me. And it doesn't have an age on this. So guess what, older sister? Yeah, your ass too. You'll be right there with the rest of them. Take away my reproach. Better go figure out what that means. Instead of shunning it because you don't like what it says. You ain't changing it. That's prophecy. But you don't have to listen to me. I'm just here to help. Verse 13. Verse 13 is they sacrifice on the tops of the mountain. Just talking about your churches, burning incense. That's just wicked prayer, praying to Jesus, praying to Buddha, praying to Kala, praying to yourself. Whatever, same thing. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall break wedlock. That's women and men, for the record. So all you brothers over here, I know my woman, man. I know my woman won't do this. I know she. They say you need to talk. What did Sirach says, 34 later on, it says that you should discuss things with a man that's been places you haven't been. You know, man that's traveled and been around, seen some things, partook in something. You might want to come talk to us and find out about these work husbands your wife had. Yeah, your wife has a husband at work. She just said that's her friend or her boss or her supervisor. Well, what's wrong with that, Elder? That's she's just identifying, you know, no. Brother. He getting the goods. I'm just leaving it right there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. You can leave that lie if you want to. Yeah, she got a work husband. If he'd have her. That woman will marry any damn thing that's moving if it's gonna benefit her. You don't know no better than that? Verse 14. I will punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, and your spouses when they break wedlock. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore, in other words, they're hanging out with the whores. They're going to the store. They're going to dinner with the whore. They're going shopping with the whores. They're going to the birthday parties with the whores. They're going to the family reunion with the whores. They're going on a girls' trip with the whores. They're going to the resorts with the whores. They're going to the country club with the whores. I said clubs already, right? Hell, they're even going to church with the whores. They're going to Bible study with the whores. Somebody influencing somebody. Just saying, bro. Sorry to break the bad news to you. If you ain't down for this book 100%, you're going to find out the hard way. Whew. I don't care what she said. She's going to get mad that I said this, by the way. But I ain't lying. Let something happen to your ass. See how quick she get the next one. Just leave. Then you got these other ones, they got their spiritual hosts. Remember, they sleep with the demons. They got this, you know, they got another thing going. They think Jesus is their God. They think Jesus is their husband. They think Yahuah is their husband. They really believe that. Yahuah is my husband. You're a blasphemer. You are blaspheming. He destroyed angels for coming down here being women's husband. You think he's going to replicate what he judged them? The whole story behind that damn Jesus is he came down here and got Mary pregnant. You forgot? Well, that's what they said. The child she carried was the child of the Holy Ghost. So you brought that stuff from Christianity over here. Why are you over here talking about, you know, Yahuah got you? No, he don't. He don't want your ass. He gave you to a man. You better deal with that or not. But he ain't dealing with you. You can believe that. That ain't he don't roll like that. That's you with that foolishness. You don't matter to him like that, sister. Better go read again. Enoch. Let me go over here real quick. I'm coming back to Hosea. I'm sure half of y'all gone now. Brothers and sisters, if y'all still with me, I guarantee. I want y'all to watch the subscriptions on here. Watch the subscriptions. I think it's like, the number is 60 right now. I think it's, what is it, 3,000 something and 60. Watch that number go. 59, 58, 57, 56, 55. Watch it. Keep an eye on it. Go. Why? Because I lied? No, because I'm telling the truth. And they don't want to hear the truth. They rather believe a lie. Therefore, they're going to get condemned in their lies. Enoch. Just want to share this with my brothers and sisters. These are all you sisters over here talking about, you in some relationship with the Creator. Your lying ass. You ain't in a relationship with him like that. Then Enoch, this is Enoch 105, chapter 13. Then Enoch answered, said Yahuah, will Yahuah affect a new thing upon the earth? This I have explained and seen in a vision. I have shown you in the generation of Jared, my father, that those who were from heaven disregarded the word of Yahuah. Check this out. Behold, they committed crime. They laid aside their class and intermingled with women, with whom they also transgressed. They married them, and they begat children, who are not like spiritual beings, but the creatures of the flesh. It goes on to say, a great destruction therefore shall come upon the earth. A flood, a great destruction shall take place in 1 year. This child which is born to you, talking about Noah. And it goes on about, Noah and what happened. But the long and the short of the story, it says that these women were made for men, but these angels laid down with them. So how you going to come back and say Yahuah is doing something different that he spoke against? Let me see something. Let's go over to Enoch 7. That might even be a clear way to get to it here. Well, it pretty much says the same thing. Say, behold the watchers, verse 2, 72. The sons of heaven beheld them, enamored with them, the women, saying to each, come, let us select ourselves women from the virginity of men, and let us beget children. Then it goes on to talk about what their leaders did and who was going to be a part of it. Then you pick back up at verse 10. They took women, each of them choosing for himself, whom they began to approach and whom they cohabited with, teaching them sorcery and incantation and dividing of roots, divination and trees and drugs. And the women conceived and brought forth giants. And we know the rest of the story. And Yahuah judged them because he said what? These women were made for men, not for y'all. Talking about these demons. You can find it. It's either 105 or 7, but it's there. Take my word for it. Or don't. But it's there. He said these women were made for men, not for y'all. Hold on one second. Notice. Hallelujah. You'll find it. Let's look it up. I'll find it. I'll put it in the notes. How about that? I'll put it in the description box. Hallelujah. But it says clearly, he told them that they laid down here with these men. These angels laid down here with the women, but these women were for men. They were not for them to be laying with the women. And Yahuah judged them for it. So you walking around here talking about somehow or another Now Yahuah is become like the fallen. Is that what you're trying to say? When you say that he's your covering? That ain't going to get it. Yeah, you get to it. Leave it right there. Again, look at 9, it talks about it. Say that they lay down, that these women were just for men, but these angels decided to go down, and that's why Yahuah said he judged them harshly for it. Okay. See there? Hallelujah. Verse 15. Chapter 15. Look what it says here, brothers and sisters. Chapter 15, verse 3. And you being spiritual, holy and possessing life, which is eternal, have polluted yourself with women, having begotten in carnal blood, have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do. These, however, died and perished, talking about mankind. Therefore, I have given unto them women, that they might cohabit with them, that the sons might be born of them, and that this might be the transacted upon the earth. But you from the beginning were made spiritual, possessing a life which is eternal, and not subject to death forever. Therefore I made not woman for you, because being spiritual, your dwelling is in heaven. So ain't no woman out there. Yahuah ain't dating you. Yahuah ain't covering you. And Yahuah ain't in love with you. That's folly. That's blasphemy. He put you here for men. You can reject it all you want, but you ain't changing it. So let me tell you something. You put that whoredom, that blasphemy on Yahuah, Yahuah going to judge you for that. Praise Yahuah. I know you're going to let me find it. Hallelujah. You heard it. You saw it. You don't have to listen to me. But you were warned. Let's go back to the book of Enoch. Hosea chapter 4. Pick up verse 14. 4 and 14. He said, now I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom. Talking about natural whoredom. Now your spouses when they break wedlock, for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people do not understand, they shall fall. And so, that's what this whole, don't you think, where do you think OnlyFans came from, brothers and sisters? Instagram, direct mail. And where do you think all this stuff came from? Came right through the internet, right through the aberrations, right through the demons. That's why you shouldn't have no TikTok, no Instagram, no OnlyFans and all that. That's all demonic. That's real. And this Bible prophecy being fulfilled, this Torah prophecy. And many of you brothers, y'all been going through that DMing these whores, you know it. And a lot of you women out there, you've been going out there showing everything, you got. Calling yourself an Instagram model. You're an Instagram whore. You're a stinking, nasty, dirty whore. So, now, you old ones too. Because I know some old whores who are out there doing Instagram OnlyFans. I'm talking about, when I say old whores, I'm talking about 50, 60-year-old whores. Because they got a nice body, got a nice ass, nice tits. What's the difference between an old whore and a young whore? Age. That was an easy one. Verse 15. Hosea 4:15. Though you, Yahshua, play the harlot, yet not let Judah offend, and come not unto Gilgad, neither go you up to Bethlehem, nor swear Yahuah lives. For Yahshua slides back like a backsliding cow. Damn. You'll see every time I try to pull Yahshua out, they go right back in. Every time I send a prophet to tell them, they kill the prophets. Every time I send a watchman to warn them, they say, take the watch off. I got time. I don't care. Not just watch, not this watch. I'm just, okay, I think you get it. It's a metaphor, but it's true. Say Israel slides like a backslide. Israel slides like a backsliding heifer. That's a female cow backing up to the bull. And you know why she's doing it. Now Yahuah will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Remember David said? The lamb got eaten. A lamb could have gotten eaten, but I took it out of his mouth. Remember, because David was the shepherd covering the sheep. Now he's saying, you out there on your own, heifer? Y'all say, guess what? Not lamb, you're going to get slaughtered. Yahuah will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. He said, leave him alone. He doesn't care. By the way, Ephraim, that's Joseph. Their drink is sour, and they committed whoredom continually. They give to them rulers who love shame. That's the ones that you see out there, brothers and sisters. These people, all people go to people who tell them what they want to hear. That's why Tudor edited and Master's Voice and all these people, because all people want to be entertained. They don't want to be educated. They want to be made, they want to get excited. They want to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? They want excitement. They got to excite me. I want to be excited. I want to be stimulated. I want to have a spiritual orgasm. I want to lay down with God Almighty, because only God Almighty is my covering. He said, that ain't what I said. That's what you said. He said, I gave you a man. And don't you dare bring me down to the level of a man. You ain't my woman. Verse 19 says, the wind has bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of the sacrifices that they have engaged themselves in. And I'll say this to you, my dear brothers and sisters, as I, conclude, this particular Shabbat message. There's a time like no other time going on right now. I've given you some examples. They got I'll just quick little short, not even a full overview. All these things that you see going on with this government shutdown, they just got to get the government out of the way to justify all these programs that they're rolling out. This is not coincidental. This is not a Democrat or a Republican thing or independent thing. This is a judgment thing going on. This is all distractions. This is all sorcery. You out here in the street. I remember, yesterday, I had a moment, you say you have these moments of clarity, brothers and sisters, and I was just kind of, dealing with my own self, quiet time, looking at, my environment and, dealing with it. Going before Yahuah, telling him how I felt about it. Hallelujah, but I'm here. But as I was going around, I'm looking around, what dawned on me? Everybody I was looking at, just dawned on me. Say, they're all sorcerers, right? You have to think about that for a moment. He said, they're all sorcerers. And it was really weird when I looked at that. I'm like, damn, it's like I had a different outlook then, brother. So I'm like, holy crap. The little girl over there is a sorcerer. The little boy over there is a sorcerer. The little baby in the carriage is a sorcerer to be. The women over there half naked with all their butts showing, pants so tight you can see the spit of their ass. They're sorcerers, stomach all out. Old ass women with tight fitting clothes on, sorcerers. Men out there, showing half their body, sorcerers. I'm like, damn, driving cars, shopping, sitting. I was like, I had to stop. I'm like, whoa. Man. After that, I went and took me a seat. I said, let me just go sit down and pray and just thank you who I ain't one of them. And then he said, tomorrow I want you to talk about it. And so we at tomorrow now. Today is yesterday's tomorrow, remember? And so I told you. And I'm sharing with you. I'm telling you exactly what he said. I'm not trying to pick no fight with nobody. I'm just telling you the truth. The fight is already going to happen. So I ain't picking the fight. The fight picked me. But unlike, Israel, who stand around and, talk about the enemy and talk about what could happen and talk about how bad and their weapons and what they got, I'd rather just be out here fighting. And that's what I'm doing. Part of that fight is communicating and sharing with you all. And hopefully maybe one or two of y'all will come out. Maybe one or two of y'all will listen. Some already are, but not completely. I'm talking about completely. I guess I say time is the best testament, right? Time will prove it out. But this word ain't changing. What's coming is here. And the soul that's sin, it's going to die. But the righteous, we will be rewarded. Daniel said we'll be like the expanse of the sky, right, brothers and sisters? We're going to be blessed. Our cup running over, as David said. Splendor, as Enoch said, we shall have. Visions and things that we can't even imagine. Yahuah said it's going to top those things. So it's a lot of beauty coming for the righteous remnant. But at the same time, you're not the righteous remnant if you're not the righteous remnant. Don't fool yourself. The biggest lie you can tell is a lie you tell yourself. That's why I say you got to deal with the lies that's within you. And a lot of you have not. You're ignoring the lie that's in you. And I'm saying to you, while it's still time, you better deal with that lie. Because that lie is what's going to separate you from, spending eternity blessed, whether you're righteous, stranger, or Yashrael, versus being burning in hell eternally. Because of your rebellion. Because of that sin, that lie that you're dealing with, that you're not trying, that's sitting there, but you ignoring it. You need to ask yourself the question, what is that lie? Let me get that lie out of my life right now. Let me correct it. Let me address it. While there's still time. And the time is simply meaning, like I said, it's like a watch. You know what I'm saying? You look at the, the emoji on this video, you'll see a hand with a watch. Just saying, the clock is ticking on us. Again, I gave you my best, hallelujah. So maybe you give me your best in supporting, this work. That being said, Shabbat Shalom, Yahuah. Elder DFG. Hope you're ready. Shalom.